Correct. So I'm going to do the opening. I'm going to be super fucking petty when it comes to objections. I only expect that you're petty for the objections. So
Look, my role is if you miss something, I'll let you know. But other than that, it's your courtroom.
Perfect.
I'm not going to step on your toes. It's
Got it.
literally yours.
Okay.
It's your case. I'm technically not there, but I'm there.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you are my supporting backup with like a rifle. You're like, yeah, bitch, I got you, and you're gonna snipe people if I miss them. So cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Talia.
Like on redirects and stuff, I'll probably be useful, right? Like
Please
they'll
do
say,
that.
hey, I think we need this or that.
Yeah, redirect. We're not. I don't think we do recross, but I'd like to do recross, but I don't know.
I think we do recross actually.
That'd be great. I would love that. So
Yeah, I'm
if I miss
pretty
something
sure
in
we
recross,
actually do.
cool. Okay, so it's like a real like full-fledged trial, not a fledgling state trial. Okay.
Yeah.
Just double check it, but I'm pretty sure we do.
Yeah, I'll ask for the formatting. Talia, I got confirmation from prosecution that if you wanted to ask questions, you can step in and do so. Don't feel like I'm going to pressure you to do so. I'm not asking you to do so. But if you think there's a question that you want to step up and you have the courage to do so, let me know beforehand. Ask the question to me and or to Temple. We'll just field it really quick, and then you can go up and ask questions. My goal for you for this trial is to ask at least 3 questions in total. But if you're not able to do that, that's okay. So even if it's silly questions like what's your rank, profession, and what's your full name, profession, and do you have a rank or like a your what's your status in your profession kind of thing, even if it's information gathering. Okay, well think about it. If you have a good question, bring it up. I wanna see you step up if you have the courage to do so. So
I mean, would you want me to start with that? Like, would I be the opener and be like, what's your rank or profession? What do you do? Da da da. And then once he answers that, just fuck off. Like,
I would like you to ask fact-finding questions. And so field that between either of us, and then if once you have that question, if it's a good question, we'll have you go up and ask. So
maybe just poke me about it in case I forget, then I'll probably do it.
Yep. And if you're okay with it, I can give you a question to ask, and then you can go up and ask those questions.
I'm absolutely down for being given questions as well.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So I'm good to go if you guys are good to go. We just waiting on... Oh, this might be a short case. I haven't been able to get a hold of Adam. If Adam doesn't show up, I'm going to move to defend him in absentia, and that may not fly. So this may be a short case.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. We got this, guys.
We got our first, literally the state's first ever actual case. No pressure.
And it's murder.
Oh, I love you too, Baru. Thank you. I'm going to turn chat off. Okay.
I can't tell if the jitters or the caffeine or
both.
my body. Okay.
Could be all 3. All right.
Yeah, that's one thing.
All right, let's kick ass.
Also, it's better you're wearing green and we're wearing black anyway. So you stand out more.
Yeah, it's kind of how I felt, so.
I'll keep on top of him. Hell yeah. Sounds good. Oh no.
Your Honor, well, the defense will have a pretrial motion once the state is here.
Okay.
It's just for my...
If it's a pretrial motion to continue or to reschedule or anything like that, I swear to God, I'm going to throw books at everybody.
No, sir. It's just to add my paralegal. She wants to ask a couple questions through trial, and obviously that'll be fielded through me, standard paralegal practice. I've cleared it with Leeds, but I think it's important that you hear that Leeds is okay with it too, so.
Okay. Yep, that is perfectly fine by me. Sorry, I'm just dealing with the fact that I have now had approximately 4 people say, hey, is there going to be a trial at that time you scheduled a trial for?
A week ago, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if I file a motion for continuance really quick.
Oh, did I give it to you? You can get it from the
I've already made the decision
Skyler
that
over the back of the head.
showing up's not good enough for me, so short of the prosecutor keeling over in my courtroom,
Did you not get
I think we're going to say, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Okay, yeah, that was another concern we had, was that I have been attempting to reach, actually both me and my co-counsel have been attempting to reach the defendant, and we have been unsuccessful in confirming his attendance. And oh, cool. I was just telling him, Counselor Leeds, that we've been unable to reach out, which you know this, we were unable to reach out to the defendant. We can't confirm or deny if he's going to be here, so we're going to move to defend him in absentia. Which I think you already just confirmed that we are.
Yeah, I think we're going to be doing a trial in absentia at in the event that he is unable to attend. Because all possible accommodations have been made, short of a third rescheduling of this matter. So
Yeah, we don't plan. That's not going to happen through us. Secondly, we would like to file a notice of appearance. What was your last name again?
Sukasa.
For Talia Sukasa as paralegal for defense counsel. Obviously, we don't normally need to do that, but since she'll be asking questions in her training to be a lawyer, we wanted to make it apparent to the court.
any objection from the prosecution on that motion?
No objection, but I'm gonna treat her like a regular bar certified attorney.
Yep, you got it.
That's fine.
Motion is granted. Paralegal, expect to get beat up a little bit when you're up there.
What the hell?
Yeah, no training wheels.
Don't beat me
Matt,
up.
We asked for little training wheels, tiny training wheels.
Oh, tiny training wheels.
Tiny training wheels. Mainly for phrasing. For phrasing, Leeds. Phrasing.
Okay, cool.
Just, if you could just not go super ham on, like, compound. Just be like, hey, it's a compound, and I'll handle it. So,
Okay.
tiny training wheel. Tiny training wheels.
Rules of engagement. I like this.
What is this thing?
The bag.
Are
was
you getting
empty.
notices about that on your phone?
What?
Sparks, can I see this? Yes, I can.
Fuck, let me
Okay,
go look again.
perfect. That's all I needed to know. Just wanted to make sure that was working.
Oh,
Oh, can I ask why, Supreme Justice?
Because previously, when the docket was first put together, we were not receiving notices. So I created a test case. I put you as the defendant, and then I spammed a bunch of stuff in the judgments and the motions to make sure you got notices for those.
oh yeah. I was able to get notification like last night.
Yes, I knew that we got it when I was in the judge's section of things. I assumed you both got it whenever you were in the representation section. The part I wasn't sure about is whether the defendant got it, but I just tested that on Miss Sparks and it does work.
I just fucking put it there. I put it on there for you.
Yeah, it's
Those
all
two
good.
burgers.
I can go mid-trial and get some food if I need it. It's not a big deal.
Do we have any water for him? Because I have burgers still. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Make
Okay,
way.
perfect. Oh, we got another appeal on the docket.
You're alive, right?
Burger.
Yes, sir, that's me.
Thank you.
Hey, Sparks, do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
We've only got 2 prosecutors, so when you're putting these things together for now, just tag both of them.
Okay, will do. Do you want me to add them as prosecution for both of them, for both those cases?
Yeah, you may as well. That way, Greco and Leeds are both aware of the cases
Okay.
that are being filed on the docket without having to manually check every time.
I didn't want to cross any lines and make a presumption. You know, I just...
Yeah, I mean, look, generally speaking, I would agree with you, and I think it's the right call. However, again, there's only 2 of them, so, we'll just tag them both.
Okay, as long as there's no malicious intent, etc. So...
I need to start poaching. That's what I need to do.
You said Greco, so the Attorney General?
Just notify me and then I'll.
Okay.
The Attorney General doesn't need to be notified of every little appeal that. No, I don't want to say little appeal. You know what I mean, right? God damn it, phrasing. God. Okay. Every appeal that shows up on the docket.
You don't have to work. It's fine, Leeds. We worked out the bar complaint issues. It's fine.
Phrasing matters.
It doesn't when we're speaking casually. I knew what you meant by little. It's okay. Listen, I'm not the kind of attorney that's going to sit there and be utterly pedantic and then lose all my friends and then hope that I'm not lonely at any point in time when I'm not at council tables, okay?
Wait, who's the guy back? Oh, wait, is that Mr. Temple?
That was very specific.
I like making
Howdy.
funny specific
Howdy,
things.
Mr. Temple.
I'll be mainly observing, just so you know.
Yeah, he's mostly acting as assistant counsel, but he's registered as co-counsel. All right. You guys have any questions, concerns, comments?
No, we're all good.
Vehicle registration fraud. Such large charges. Okay. All right. We'll see if we can get a judge assigned to this one. Looks like West has already taken the other one that got filed for Miss Fisher.
The David Budd case, sir, is in plea negotiations. I'm gonna draft the plea agreement, send it over to Miss Leeds. We're in negotiations on that one. I'm 95% sure that will be pled out.
Wait, is that the one I'm conflicted on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We filed a joint motion. I'm sorry. We're both doing plea negotiations. We both confirmed. So.
Is someone gonna bring like a massive food order? I hope someone will.
Do we have a fridge?
We don't, but we could. Hey, Counselor Sparks.
Oh, ow.
Do we have any trays or anything?
Yeah, we don't have any trays. Yes, sir.
For these matters, start having your clients fill in their availability on their phone for me.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
Yeah, because that's going to make scheduling things a lot easier. The underlying incident for, like, if we were to take this David Budd's matter to trial.
Yes, sir.
The underlying incident occurred at 8 o'clock in the morning Central Time, which is outside of most judges' availability. However, I'm sure that your client could probably be around, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours later than that, and we could probably schedule it around that. So.
He would be. He this right now is a little too late for him, but he was still working and stuff just a couple hours ago. So
yeah, so like
I'll make sure that's done.
Like a noon Eastern would probably be okay with him.
Yes, I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, just
I can jump in and take it, but if it goes out of plea negotiations and that breaks down and goes to trial, I'd have to pass it off. But like, just for ease sake of getting a plea deal, like
I can supervise the plea deal stuff on it, and I think that if the defendant can push until like let's say 2 or 3 in the afternoon Eastern, then we can probably get Wolf or Joy or somebody on it. So
I don't see plea negotiations failing based on the discussion I had with Counselor Leeds. I'm 99% sure it'll go through. I just have to draft it, and it'll be the language in the plea deal, etc.
All right. Well, if you're gonna do the plea deal, that's good. I took the Fisher case. I think Wolf is gonna tag in on that one too.
Speaking of plea deals, I was speaking to Wolf about it. This might be for a discussion afterwards. Do you want me to draft it up in a digital e-sign document and then post a link to that document? Or do you want me to put it in full language as written in the docket itself?
you can do a digital e-sign document. I'm fine with that.
Understood.
You could also theoretically put together a contract on the phone application if that's easier for the parties involved. Just depends on how you want to split up your documentation.
I've had some issues with contracts currently with retainer agreements, and for some reason the contract's not necessarily I guess something with an update recently on the phones is not letting it show up to certain people. So
Oh, interesting. Okay.
it's not consistent. I can't find anything consistent to like reach out to the iFruit company or anything.
What happened? I think just put it in like the, like give some feedback on it and just say there's issues.
Yeah, I figured I could just reach out to the Bureau for Universal Grievances or something.
Okay, Leeds, it looks like we've got Caruso. I think Nixon's going to be here soon, TM.
Yeah, she's on the phone with him right now, Yana. He's on the way.
All right, perfect. Yeah, if this particular time didn't work for Nixon, that was never directly communicated to the court. We knew the first time wasn't good for him and we rescheduled it, but we didn't know the second time was bad too.
He is on the Sonora Freeway and is on the way here.
All right.
Your Honor, we're fine with proceeding without that witness if necessary.
I'm sure you are. Unfortunately, they have been called by the state. And, if they're only running a minute or two late, we'll allow it.
Oh, I understand, Your Honor. It's just a witness that we called, so I just wanted to let you know on our side, on the defense's side, we're okay to proceed.
Oh, I see now. I thought you were just being smart aleck with me because that was the state's witness. But I see you both called Officer Nixon.
Good one, Judge.
My gosh.
All right.
Like a fucking coliseum.
We're also still waiting on our one of our judges. Anyway, Saoirse should be here momentarily, and she is the one who is going to kind of take the reins of this. So.
That's who I wrote my opening for. I really hope. Yeah. I was being more placative to her wants and needs.
Why? What's wrong with me installing things on here?
Wait, you got games on that?
Games on your phone?
Well, what would Swing Hammer download?
You got Subway Surfer on that thing, Yana?
I didn't download anything. What are you talking about?
I'm downloading Minecraft.
Okay, Subway Surfer is a mobile game. Why would we have that on a desktop computer?
You can emulate it, Your Honor.
BlueStacks, Your Honor.
Okay, but Balloons TD6 is also a mobile game, but that thing that thing slaps.
Yawn.
Balloons TD6 is on Steam.
Objection, Your Honor. Boring game.
Rebuttal, Your Honor. Everyone has different game tastes, and if Officer Caruso doesn't like the certain game, he can zip it.
You guys should download
Rebuttal.
My Little Blood Cult.
I, as an
It's on
Italian
Steam.
American, will not be
Also
silenced.
In the App Store, and
There's no rebuttal to that rebuttal.
Brave. That is very brave of you, Sergeant.
You're so brave, Lou. Where are you behind?
Objection, cringe?
Oh my god, him being Italian American is cringe?
No, the brave part. The brave part. I'm objecting to the brave comments. It's cringe.
How are we gonna handle Mr. Farts not being here?
He just said we're going to continue. We're defending him in absentia. I would have loved to have his testimony on here, but it may work out best. Oh, excuse me. It may work out best because we could just go off of the interrogation.
The Attorney General should be here
Oh yeah.
with some
So I wrote it. I wrote the I wrote the closing where it's easy enough to remove the testimony part. So.
Okay, good.
Sergeant Nixon is here, Your Honor.
All right, amazing. That means that we are just waiting on Saoirse, which I don't. Let me see.
Defense has one more point of order, Your Honor.
What is the defense's other point of order?
We're just asking that the galley keep, or asking a request for the judiciary to request for the galley to be quiet. I have ADHD and will get distracted.
Yeah,
No yapping. No yapping to you.
We got Donut back there. I brought him from the DMV. He's security.
Understood.
Good to sign in.
I'll go sign in.
Y'all heard that, right? Judge says shut the fuck up.
You tell him, Donut.
Thank you,
Tell
Your
him.
Honor.
Yeah.
Let me elucidate. If you distract the attorneys from working, contempt of court, you're going to jail. Understand what I'm saying to you?
He's so nice. I love working
Wolf.
here. I love working
love
here
Wolf.
so much.
Donut, you're such a man. Look at you. You've grown up so much. I'm so proud of you.
Objection, cringe.
You're very welcome, Sweeto.
That's my paralegal. That's my paralegal. It's okay. You'll learn the other fun objection, which is objection weird, and then you'll regret ever knowing that that objection exists.
I saw
Waiting
Nixon
for
walk
the
in. I was gonna say
deciding
objection. He
judge
likes
to
Weezer.
arrive, so you're gonna have to wait on that one.
Well,
Nixon.
my Nixon just got abducted by aliens.
Objection weird.
He abducted by
What's
Weezer.
that, Sparks? You don't believe in aliens?
No, I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in ghosts either. Vampires, I do believe in.
Yeah, supernatural things don't exist. I thought we already established that.
But yeah, but if I believe in vampires enough, maybe. Never mind. Never mind.
I don't want to hear about your kinks in court.
I'm not, Your Honor. That's not at all where I was going.
But you want to hear about her kinks in court?
I think it could be fun.
Okay, Sparks, step up.
Step up. Approach
I
the stand.
plead my Fifth
approach
Amendment.
The stand. No, come in.
No, I'll get contempt for this.
Your fifth only matters in the grounds of legal issues. Are you gonna face criminal charges because of your kinks?
Yeah,
Coming?
yes, I'll take contempt.
Your Honor, may I as paralegal step in for my lawyer?
We don't want to hear about your kinks, Tolly.
Oh, are you sure?
We've all seen it
Oh,
at the
okay.
DMV already.
This isn't fair.
Okay, raise your left hand. Do you swear and affirm that testimony about against court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of being slandered on Twinster? So help you. We need a pervert judge. Who's the pervert judge?
Mantis.
No, judge. Oh, yeah, God, that one. Okay, so help you, Mandas.
No, I'm not swearing on Mantis.
Okay, so help you, Flea Junk.
I don't know that god.
I don't care if you know them or not. I'm asking
Dandy.
you to swear on them.
Dandy.
No, Dandy's the blood god. She's scary.
I get it. I'll swear on Dandy. Hell yeah.
Oh, gee.
Joji, yeah, that's.
Oh, that's a good pervert judge. So help you, the goddess of ERP, Joji.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Ask the questions about her kinks. West, off you go. Cross-examiner. Go hard.
Oh.
Oh,
I
we're
didn't have
full
any
bidding, okay.
questions. I just wanted to hear about it.
Oh,
We'll
so
have narrative testimony.
so I'm not going to go into deep elaboration. I will say that one of the assignments I had straight out of law school was that I was assigned to write a sex contract for someone. I won't say who, I won't say between whom, but I will read off a certain section to give you an idea of my knowledge.
Yes, please.
Is this like a consent thing?
This is one of Fitzpatrick's, isn't it?
I'll just read off the bullet points. Hold on.
Contracted consent is sexy.
All consent is sexy.
So I wrote the contract that says kinky sex contract where if my spouse dies, I'm not at fault. Also sex stuff.
The sex was threatening of life.
So it lists the parties. Section 1 is the parties. It says, whereas the parties are sexually attracted to each other and would like to manifest that sexual attraction through participation in one or numerous sexual acts listed but not limited to all activities listed in Section 2.
Give me some of the highlights from Section 2.
I'll give you all of them. Full body touching, external, internal, kissing with or without the insertion of tongue and mouth, digital penetration, receipt or giving, oral sex, receipt or giving, vaginal or anal sex, receiving or giving, restraints by any means necessary.
I've never heard anything sound less sexy.
Use of devices designed for sexual activities, use for devices questionably designed for sexual activities, uses for devices that probably not for sexual activities but look fun to use anyway, impact play, knife play, use of food in any way, shape, or form, disregarding food allergies or microwave yogurt, dominant commands receiving or giving, denial receiving or giving.
Microwaved yogurt?
With despite no, so use of
Good
food in
timing,
any
Nixon.
use of food in any way, shape, or form, disregarding food allergies and microwave yogurt, and then other consensual things that will get me canceled. Parentheses, receiver giving.
Like warm cereal, things like that.
I love warm cereal. What are you talking about?
Jesus.
Contempt.
I didn't hear anything ever about rope play. I'm pretty disappointed.
Oh, I said restraints by any means necessary.
Oh, you didn't say rope play. Okay.
Anyway, I wrote that contract and I got paid 46 grand for that, so that was cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bad.
There was a bunch of other things in there, but yeah. Does that satisfy the court?
Yes.
Thank you.
No.
Okay.
But you are dismissed.
I may
Thank
need
you.
to call you later in the future for something.
I was really listening.
That doesn't really tell. that
I
doesn't
don't know
really
what
tell
god
the
that
court
is.
anything
Yes.
That's crazy.
About the counselors' fetishes, just how they've enabled others.
Yes, Supreme Justice Montag's got a good point. Get back to the stand and tell me about this vampire kink you have.
Oh.
I don't have
You
a vampire.
distracted us. You distracted us on purpose. Tell us about the vampire kink.
I'm a good attorney, Your Honor. I don't have a vampire kink. I just think it would be really cool if I could, have vampire minions.
Minions?
You want sex slaves? Okay, now you can go away.
No, I don't want. Absolutely
Go
not.
away. Get off.
I'm
go
mostly an
away.
asexual creature. What do you mean?
Vampires are fake and lame.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's offensive.
Objection. Objection. Nixon likes Weezer.
That's true, actually.
That's true.
And that's been put in the court of law.
Am I good? Do we all understand I don't have a vampire kink? Is that clear? I don't have a sex slave kink. Is that clear?
I'm disappointed in the lack of vampirism, but okay. All right.
I mean, if you want. Never mind. Thank you, Giannis.
Disappointed, too late.
I don't like how it was just called out by 3 judges.
It is what it is.
That is an excellent question.
It's like sort of session.
Should I start putting up missing judge posters on all the telephone poles?
They should just probably put them on like the clothing stores and like energy, like you should put it at like bean machine counters.
I mean, I was already gonna put out a missing persons report for Judge Law, so we can throw it out for Saoirse as well.
Yeah, may as well.
He might be just stuck at home having really good sex with one of his secretaries.
Yeah, quite possibly.
But just really disappointing sex with one of his secretaries. You don't know that, Leeds, unless you're testifying right now as to being one of his secretaries.
I am not one of his secretaries.
And how do you know?
She's on no pixel
I mean,
right now.
he could be having disappointing sex with multiple of his secretaries.
He could be.
I can confirm he does not have sex with the secretaries. I'm as one of his secretaries.
Wait, are we allowed to have sex with our secretaries?
I would confirm he has no sex at all.
In HR, and as head of HR, well, I'm co-head of HR with Lope over here. We'll have to discuss that at some point.
I can write a contract.
We heard.
I will.
I bought my first car with that money.
That's awesome.
So that might come in handy.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically playing
actually, I have a resume. I would be happily send my resume for a judicial assistant job.
Hell yeah. Wait, no, I can't, because that could be considered a conflict. It has to be someone that isn't regularly in my courtroom.
I don't have to do that either. Anyway, hang on. Pour one out for the homies. He said,
Okay.
Rebel Space Cat, welcome in.
We are coming up on 10 minutes past the scheduled time. We have got Sergeant Nixon here, despite the fact that he was unaware of his required presence. We're currently missing Judge Saoirse Fitzpatrick. However, we've got 5 other members of the judiciary, as well as myself here, so I think we're good to get started. We're going to go ahead and call this matter into session. This is going to be the State of San Andreas versus Adam Fart.
Fart.
Yeah.
Can I make the gavel sounds?
Adam Fart.
Sure, you can make the gavel sounds. That's fine. Go ahead and make a gavel sound. We just called it an order.
I feel less inquired to defend him because he didn't bother.
There we
What
go.
was that, a gun?
Gavel sound.
Oh, okay, gavel.
Court is now in session. Please honor the court with your silence. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Donut. All right, all right, this is gonna be matter number 1238, State of San Andreas versus Adam Fart. Mr.
Adam Fart.
does not appear to be present today, so this trial will proceed in absentia, with Mr. Fart being represented by counsel. Counsel, let's have you read into the record because you're very different than when this case started. So, lead counsel, let's have you read into the record, please.
Perfect. Notice of appearance for Skyler Sparks as co-counsel for defendant Adam Fart.
All right. And who's the other co-counsel?
We have... Okay, go ahead.
A notice of appearance, Second Temple, co-counsel.
All right, thank you, Counselor Temple. And we had a paralegal who was entered prior to us going on the record. Can you read yourself in, please?
Yes, paralegal Talia Sukasa.
Thank you, Talia. Okay. All right, we're going to have to proceed with things a little atypically. We're going to have a answer from counsel as to how Mr. Fart is going to be pleading to the charges that are levied against him. We're going to go from bottom to top because the top's the most interesting.
Is not guilty at all, right?
As
Correct.
to the charge of evading
Even though we only
times
care about
one, counsel, what plea are you entering for your client?
A defendant will be pleading not guilty to that charge, Your Honor.
Okay. As to Grand Theft Auto times one.
Not guilty to that charge, Your Honor.
Kidnapping times one.
Not guilty.
And the real reason we're all here today, murder times one.
I forgot about the kidnapping. Not guilty, Your Honor.
That would have been crazy if you had said guilty at that part. Okay, all right, perfect. The court will reflect in the record defendant has entered a not guilty plea to all charges.
I forgot about the kidnapping charge.
I'm
that
going to
one also
briefly
should
read
be
the
pretty
state's
easy.
statement of claim,
Yeah.
and then I'll ask all parties to announce ready. The statement of claim by the State of San Andreas: on the 13th of December 2023, Adam Fart stole a bank truck outside the Department of Motor Vehicles and towed it from the DMV to the Mirror Park Dam with Martin Thunder in the back of the bank truck. Whilst evading law enforcement, Adam Fart positioned the bank truck to the edge of the dam and dumped the truck into the dam, leaving Martin Thunder trapped inside. Law enforcement officers attempted to save Martin Thunder from drowning. However, Martin Thunder did not make it. The state of San Andreas seeks justice for this murder and prays that the honorable court find Adam Fart guilty of the murder of Martin Thunder. Okay. And the state has amended their sentencing, seeking life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. I don't know that the court actually formally entered a ruling on that. However, given the fact that we were well before the scheduled deadline, and I think we had 2 shifts of counsel since that time, that will be retroactively granted, pending any objection, which I didn't see any on the record.
There's no objection from defense counsel, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, from the state, we have got Prosecutor Alexandra Leeds. Are you ready to announce ready for this trial, Prosecutor Leeds?
Yep, prosecution's ready, Your Honor.
Defense, are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor, defense is ready.
Okay. In that case, let's go to opening statements. Prosecution, take it away.
Your Honor, people of the court, today we are here for justice. On the 30th of December 2023, Adam Fart engaged in a reckless and heinous act that resulted in the murder of one of this state's raiders, Martin Thunder. The evidence and testimony you will hear today will reveal that Adam Fart, on his very first day as a tow truck driver, intentionally stole a bank truck from outside the DMV with Martin Thunder inside begging for his life, and callously dumped it into the Mirror Park Dam, killing Mr. Thunder inside. You will learn that Adam Fart not only disregarded our great laws, but also displayed a blatant disregard for human life, all in the pursuit of his own personal gain. We ask you here today to consider all of the facts here today and implore this honorable court to hold Adam Fart accountable for his actions. Thank you.
All right, short, sweet, and to the point. Defense, we are prepared for your opening.
Murder is not perpetuated in a vacuum. It is the product of greed, avarice, hate, revenge, or perhaps fear. As splashing stone sends ripples to the furthest edge of the pond, murder affects the lives of many people. Earl Stanley Gardner. And in this case, Your Honors, we will see how the death of Mr. Martin Thunder has caused these ripples, nay waves, of injustice and impropriety. The state today will paint a picture rife with what they consider to be proper premeditation. They will display a half-baked cake on a shelf teetering with just millimeters of room before one question topples it to the ground. That question is what we ask the court today, Your Honors, and it is simple. What indeed is a murder? Anyone can pick up a regular dictionary and ask what it defines as a murder. And we find in the 2022 Webster's Dictionary that the first primary definition of murder is as follows: the crime of unlawfully and unjustifiably killing a person. If we were to bind ourselves to the basic literary definition, then we'd have hundreds or thousands of people bound by this gray, smattered conundrum that does not outline how our society wishes to run. We do, however, have the ability to refer to legal dictionaries, statutory outlines, common laws, both persuasive and authoritarian, in adjudication, like today, to ensure that the innocent are protected from the overreach of the United States executive branches. This is why we are here. We're not here to refute that man's life is gone. It's tragic. It will always and forever be tragic, even within the worst of society. We are here, however, to show how the charge of murder is so fervently applied to the defendant with a careless presumption of guilt. Through the testimonies and evidence presented, we pray to the court today to find that the defendant is found innocent of murder in any degree, and that both the deceased and the defendant can leave here, metaphorically speaking, with justice sought and justice given by your most esteemed honors. Thank you.
Okay. A little less to the point, but I do like the metaphors. Metaphors are fun. Okay. All right. For those who have been in attendance at bench trials prior to this, this will be operating slightly differently than that. The basic format will remain the same. We will start with the prosecution. Once the prosecution has rested, we will move on to the defense. However, there is no narrative presentation of testimony here. Officers will not be taking the stand, telling us, essentially bedtime stories of what transpired. There will not be a full dicta read into a transcript of what would otherwise be a police report. Instead, these officers are going to take the stand and they will be asked direct questions by their
see what he's
acting
doing.
district attorney counselor leads. Defense counsel will be presented the opportunity to object to those questions as they are asked. We got a whole list of ways that things can be objected to in our Department of Justice documentation. So if you ever want to follow along at home and kind of pick up and learn some of those things, you can check our definitions and things like that for further information.
Ask Donut.
Once both witnesses have been gone through, because this case does only have two, the prosecution will then present any physical evidence, any photographs, any DNA samples, anything like that that they may have, autopsy reports, so on and so forth. And then we'll bounce over to the defense. And the defense will call their witnesses and essentially argue evidence, and we'll go from there to closings. So, with no further ado, prosecution. Who is our first witness going to be?
Your Honor, defense has one question concerning the format.
Yes.
Do we have redirect and recross?
Yes, we will actually have as many rounds of that as is pertinent. If you all start leading us too far down a rabbit hole, I'll cut it off.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right.
Me too. That's why I punched you.
Who is our first witness?
Prosecution calls Sergeant Luca Russo to the stand.
There's something we really need out of this witness.
Take the stand. You will be
outside of
sworn in by
assuring
Judge
that. I don't see anything coming out of this witness that is necessary to any defense that we have outside of maybe confirming the kidnapping and the state of mind behind the kidnapping. So.
You want me to ask him anything?
Hey, Sergeant
I want to wait.
Raise your left hand for me.
We'll wait for Cross.
Yes,
I don't know what questions she's gonna ask. So.
Do you swear and affirm that the testimony
All
you're
we're trying to
about
do
give
is
this
pick
court,
holes if they get something
the
incorrect that they
first
put down in their
time
statement.
at a fully scheduled
Go.
hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury. So help you, the god of degeneracy, fares.
On behalf of the Italian-American people of Los Santos, yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. He has been sworn in.
Okay, prosecution, the witness is yours. The court is prepared.
Alrighty, for the course, it's gonna be referenced in State's Exhibit A, Incident 1141. Sergeant Caruso, can you state your name and rank for the record?
Sergeant Lou Caruso of the Los Santos Police Department.
And were you on duty on the date of the incident being the 13th of December 2023?
I was.
What call did you respond to that led us all to be here today?
Your Honor, I don't mean to object, but there's numerous people in the galley that won't shut up.
It's Miss Princess, or how her name is, just continuously
I'm
being in
sorry,
the.
Your Honor, I'm trying to handle it politely.
It needs to be handled now.
Okay.
It's going to be hot.
Now interrupting court proceedings. If you could please get the fuck out of the courtroom, unequivocally.
Or
There's
just
no
sit
way
down and be
around this
quiet.
argument. Just get
Stop.
the
Let the
fuck
judge
out,
handle it.
please, if you're not
Stop.
going to be silent in an aisle.
Okay.
There's currently court proceedings, and the prosecution and defense had just delivered amazing opening statements, and I was really invested in what they were saying, but you are choosing to stand here in the aisle, refusing to leave.
Give a contempt, she can't be made.
Get out, I'm here as security, sir.
You know, I know you. No, you're good. If you've been asked to leave, man, please leave.
What did I do?
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure whether I was clear just there. We are in the middle. There's literally almost 100 people in here. Then
and then he came to me.
Okay, I need you to leave, or you'll be arrested, please.
Everybody, listen to me. Listen to me right now. You're going to get one warning. This is it. If somebody asks you to be quiet, move to the back of the pews, right? Move to the back. If you need to talk, if you need to whisper, move to the back of the pews so you're not interrupting the lawyers. If you interrupt the lawyers, you will face contempt of court. That comes with jail time. That comes with a fine. I'm not joking. Final warning.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
I'm going to add to that, if Donut says to be quiet, listen to him, please. All right?
Thank you, Your Honors.
All right. With that interruption behind us, Counselor, you can re-ask your last question.
Yes. What call did you respond to that led us all to be here today?
Information came over the radio from Deputy Lewis Bloom about a bank truck that was hitched on the back of a tow truck illegally and was seen fleeing towards Mira Park. I myself was in Sandy Shores and made my way towards Mira Park, towards the dam.
The courtroom's super small.
Okay. When did you get visual on this tow truck?
There's a little access road north of the dam that leads to the water treatment plant on Los Santos Freeway.
So his testimony is not
I
even going to matter
entered
when
that
it comes to
access
most of
road
the
from
charges.
Los Santos Freeway.
No. I don't care about
Went
it.
up the access road and was coming southbound towards the dam. This is where I got eyes on the tow truck with the bank truck on the back of it.
Okay. So you gave visual on this tow truck. Let's see. What then happened?
It's a good question.
Uh,
She's dodging
Upon
my.
getting sight of the tow truck, it immediately halted. I had my lights and sirens on. I didn't have backup at the time, so I kept my distance from the tow truck.
We could
At which
object to
point,
narrative here,
I
but I'm
saw
just gonna
the
let it go.
defendant disembark from the tow truck.
I'm sorry?
Go to the back of the tow
Yeah,
truck
let it go through.
for a small amount of time. So that would be to the back of the bank truck as well. That was hitched on the back.
She's just
and
gonna
then
ask,
re-enter
like,
the
8
tow
other
truck
questions. It's
and
just
start
easier to get it through.
reversing away from me.
You just want me to object to narrative?
No. I was saying we could
Okay.
object to narrative, but
okay.
it's just easier to get through it
Is
instead
this
of being pedantic the whole
was that
time.
this moment that
Yeah,
was
fair
that
enough.
this point that you then pursued the tow truck?
That would be correct. I gave pursuit of the tow truck that was reversing now southbound away from me, but facing me, and I'm coming southbound down the road. At which point, the tow truck stopped and flipped around, so now it was facing southbound the correct way.
I don't know.
It's no longer
what
reversing.
He's talking.
And
I mean,
began
it's fine. It doesn't
accelerating away
matter.
from
Bros.
Doesn't matter. If it's prevalent, then I would care.
Okay. Could you describe the nature of the pursuit based on your experience as a law enforcement officer?
Good recovery leads.
Due to my experience as a law officer, I believe that the defendant was attempting to evade at this time.
Okay. How long was this pursuit approximately?
I would say in total about 30
Speculation,
seconds
but it's just easier to get
after
it
he had
through,
flipped the
so she
tow
doesn't go
truck
through, like,
around
5
and
or 6
continued
other
southbound
questions on
back
it.
towards the dam.
Right.
Speculation is where you can't
he
assume someone's
stopped
emotions or state of mind.
and parked the tow truck at a 90 degree. So the front of the tow truck was facing westbound to a cliff, and the back of the tow truck was facing eastbound, hanging over a cliff that led to the Mira Park Lake above the dam.
Okay. Was it at this point that the defendant unhitched the truck?
At that point, the defendant had disembarked from the vehicle. At this time, Sergeant Nixon had arrived behind me from the same access road, and I had backup. So I moved in to attempt to get the suspect into custody. At which point, the tow truck was, the bank truck was unhitched, and the bank truck plummeted into the water.
Okay. And to your knowledge, where was the victim, Martin Thunder, in all of this?
Objection Foundation.
Withdrawn.
Okay. As it's withdrawn, we will sustain. You can rephrase.
So the van truck was dumped into the lake. What did you then do?
At this point, I started running towards the tow truck to try to find the defendant. We had knowledge that the late Martin Thunder was trapped in the back of the bank truck. At the time of the tow truck unhitching...
Objection narrative.
Rebuttal?
No rebuttal. You can, I guess, disregard the second part. He was running towards the tow truck and then went in.
We defer to your judgment, Your Honor.
Yeah, the objection came in right after the conclusion of we had knowledge that the late Martin Thunder was trapped in the bank truck. We'll lop it off there. The question itself called for narrative, so be a little bit more succinct for me, counsel. Questions like, what did you do then? Kind of leaves it open-ended.
Alrighty. When did you gain knowledge that Martin Thunder was in the back of the tow truck?
Sergeant Nixon was on the phone with Martin Thunder.
Objection, hearsay.
Rebuttal.
Actually, yeah, that's something I wanted to. Can maybe approach Your Honor for a sidebar?
Yes. Sorry. We'll step over to the side here. Let me just put my notes away.
Okay.
So the report itself, the Exhibit A, it states that Nixon was on the phone where the victim was pleading multiple times for his life. Why is hearsay? Because Thunder is not present and can't be present. We want to make an exception here for his dying declaration, as he truly believed that his life was at risk at that point.
I object.
Take a look at the exhibit that was entered into evidence and make a ruling based on that.
Your Honor, we're objecting that because Sergeant Nixon is here to be able to testify on anything else that he heard.
That's precisely what makes it not hearsay.
Okay, then we're gonna object that there's no rules, there's no evidentiary. There's no exceptions to any evidentiary value to any rules for hearsay. Just because there is a dying declaration does not mean that there is an exception in those rules. Not in the state of San Andreas.
Okay, I don't think that you're fully comprehending what I'm saying. The reason that this is not hearsay is because although the statement was made by an individual who's not currently on my witness stand, it was made by an individual who is present in court and able to testify as to the same, which means that if there's a contradiction, then that individual can not only be directly questioned, but can also be cross-examined on it. So it's just inherently not hearsay because he's here.
Understood. Objection withdrawn.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Also, yeah, we're probably going to follow the normal hearsay exceptions. I'm not writing an entire rules of evidence. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
That would be cool, though.
No.
We could just use what? It's like 406.13b for federal rules. I mean, it's
Your
pretty
Honor,
easy.
I want to note for the record that the Attorney General said he'd love to do that.
Would have not made sense to mention the no evidence they put in with the phone logs.
I already have that. I'm not in there yet. That's part of closing. I'm gonna poke him. Yeah.
Okay.
406b13.
All right, go ahead and continue. The objection was withdrawn, so we can pick up exactly where we left off.
You have the question on the record. I just forgot what I asked because of the whole.
We will restate it from the bench.
Also,
Sergeant
that's
Caruso,
what we
the
call
last question that you
we
were
call
asked
a
and you had
strategic
just
objection.
begun answering.
That's good.
Was when did you gain knowledge that Thunder was in the back of the tow truck?
I gained knowledge of the late Martin Thunder being in the tow truck from 911 calls we received during the pursuit. At the time the tow truck was dumped into the water, Sergeant Nixon was on the phone with Martin Thunder, who was begging for his life in the back of the bank truck.
Okay. And to your knowledge, was Martin Thunder still in the bank truck when it was dumped into the dam?
Yes, he was.
Scope?
Did anyone attempt
No,
to
she's
rescue
opening.
Martin Thunder?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yes.
It's okay, Sergeant.
Their 911 calls aren't in evidence.
Oh.
May I point him out in the courtroom, Your Honor?
What's your phone number?
Who attempted to rescue Martin Thunder?
Me?
That man, Sergeant J.R. Nixon, he's a hero.
Your Honor, objection pandering?
I mean, pandering's not a listed objection. I'll let you cook a little bit, counsel. Tell me why you're objecting on those grounds.
Because it's cringe and pandering to a fellow officer.
Did she just do objection cringe?
I said pandering.
This is Italian American slander. We're an emotional people.
Rise up.
Okay.
Your Honor, this directly affects the people, his people.
Hold on. I'm gonna overrule, but Sergeant Caruso, I'm gonna need you to talk more with your hands if you're gonna claim that's the reason I should overrule.
Okay.
Defense is fine with it.
See. Where were we? So, Sergeant Nixon attempted to rescue Martin Thunder. Did he succeed in this attempt?
Unfortunately, when Sergeant Nixon retrieved the late Martin Thunder, he wasn't breathing. He had been underwater for quite some time.
How much time, approximately?
At least 10 minutes, Maron.
At least 10 minutes. Alrighty. To your knowledge, when did emergency medical personnel arrive on scene?
My knowledge, I'd say medical arrived on scene maybe 5 to 10 minutes after we pulled Mountain Thunder out of the water.
Okay. Alrighty. I want us to
That was from me.
move on from that. Very brave of you, Sergeant Caruso. I'm sorry that you had to go through that again.
You can ask that if you want.
It's all right.
Protocol, we're going to be referencing State's Exhibit C, Adam Fart's interrogation tape. Were you present for this interrogation?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a second, I'm just getting it up.
She's doing a good job on questioning, making sure
let's
it's
see.
succinct and not too bad.
Right.
She's trying to get away with a couple
Yeah, I
of
think you
things.
rattled her.
Who else was present in the interrogation?
Sergeant J.R. Nixon and Alfred Newman and the defendant, Adam Fott.
I don't know the name.
Okay. What
Alfred Newman,
admissions were
he's
made
the
during
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
interrogation?
Oh, he's dead.
Died.
Adam said he did it. And he knew Martin Thunder was back there.
You, Adam, you knew that Martin Thunder was back there.
He
There's an
did.
objection there. I just either don't care or
Did he give
don't
any
have
reasons
energy.
as to why he stole the bank truck outside the DMV?
He wanted the money. It always comes back to the money. These people are sick.
Objection, character evidence.
Rebuttal.
He's okay. We can withdraw the characterization part, but
They are
we'd
really
like to
playing
keep
no
the
emotion
answer on
here.
the record as to
Yeah, we'll unless there's further objection from defense counsel, we'll strike the "it's always the money, these people are sick," and we'll just keep the "it was the money."
No further objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
To your knowledge, was he able to get access to the money?
Objection, personal knowledge.
Rebuttal.
It's directly referencing the transcript and the admissions made during the transcript. So he's speaking to his knowledge based on the interrogation that took place after the incident.
This is a tricky one because obviously it's not hearsay because the defendant very well could testify in his own defense should he wish to. It's also a statement against self-interest. However, this court does have ear holes and is capable of listening to the transcript themselves, so it might be redundant. I'm going to overrule, but keep it short, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Would you mind just restating the question? Thank you.
To your knowledge, was the defendant able to get to the back of the bank truck or to the back of the money? Sorry, I think that's what I asked.
To my knowledge, he was unsuccessful in his attempts.
Alrighty, and 1 second.
So far, there's nothing super problematic. There's a couple bumps, but.
Yeah. That should be all from us. No further questions from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, perfect. In that instance, are you ceding the witness to the defense?
Well, no, I mean, obviously, we've got redirect if that opportunity is there. We have no further questions for on direct.
All right. Defense counsel, you all may take turns cross-examining Sergeant Crusoe.
Okay, just a moment, Your Honor. What did you say? Possible conflicting statements.
Montag, you got nice hair. You Italian? You got any Italian in you?
You know, I've been.
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
I just haven't really.
Yeah, you
we
should.
want to ask why they shot with the security guards after the truck was dumped.
He doesn't. You can tell.
And he got asked the shooting one of
Doesn't have the
Nixon.
emotion fire,
He's the one
you
who
know?
mentioned it. So
Doesn't get all
That's
wound
true,
up.
Greco.
Yeah, if you want to ask, I go for it.
All the time. I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah, I'll leave this guy. I won't
take
ask
things
that
way
guy
too
anything.
I take things way more
I
seriously
don't really
than
like.
the other two judges
Even if
who
we
are no
were
longer, the other
to
two
ask the
justices who
question,
became
I don't see
governors
it.
and now one's in ICU.
Who?
That's why you're the last man standing, Montag.
I think I can settle this. Montag, what kind of cheese is on pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, answer carefully.
There's a singular type of cheese on pizza? I thought it was a blend of multiple types of cheeses.
Oh, what is... Montag. The primary cheese used on pizza. Would you state that for the court here today?
Craft singles.
Okay,
Oh, that's a good answer.
I feel attacked.
I think I just have it in my mouth.
Or Kraft Singles white cheddar.
That's not... Okay, all of that sounds horribly wrong. Possible. We might have to outlaw Kraft Singles across the board, actually.
Your Honor.
Defense is ready to proceed.
Don't most authentic places use like provolone cheeses on there?
Jesus Christ! I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave.
Mozzarella.
You've asked the wrong question.
Well,
he could be
mozzarella's-
Italian. No, he could be Italian and
Say
not
it
be
again.
focused
Say it again.
on-
What'd you just say, Montag? Say it again.
Well, most places use mozzarella, but
Yeah, he's not Italian, Greco.
The question
They
is,
use
I had
mutz.
my doubts.
They use
try
mutz.
this, Crusoe. Try this, Crusoe. Montag. If you're
Fresh-made
scheduling
mutz.
a case and I approach you and I wet your beak a little and slide you a 50, would you slide the scheduling for me?
Okay, are you saying that Italian Americans are inherently criminal? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying we know how to.
I am pissed off.
the wheels will not be greased. The wheels will not be greased.
The wheels have already been
He's not
greased,
Italian.
Your Honor.
He's not
People have
Italian.
suffered enough.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right.
Defense is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
We're proceeding with the cross-examination. It's a very serious case. This is the state versus fart. Goddammit.
Yeah, it's serious.
The wet bandit.
Adam Ford.
Objection, character evidence. I don't want my client referred to as the wet bandit, please.
That wasn't on the record.
Okay, great. Am I good to proceed, Your Honor?
Wait, can I just ask for clarification? Would that be Adam, then hyphenated wet, then fart?
Motion to
wet fart.
recuse myself as counsel.
Denied. Okay,
Motion to recuse myself as counsel.
Nope. That's declined. In
My
perpetuity.
paralegal files and motion to recuse Skyler Sparks as counsel. Okay.
All right. Okay. Defense counsel. Let's proceed. Let's go for it.
Caruso, what's your official title with the LSPD?
Sergeant Lou Caruso.
Sergeant
LSPD.
Sergeant Caruso. According to the statements made in the People's A, there was a shooting. Were you present for that shooting?
I was.
Okay. And who directed to fire at the defendant?
No PD fired at the defendant.
Okay, then where did the shooting come from?
The rest of the bank truck employees are security guards. I guess we can refer them to. I believe they are witnesses in the report you're referencing.
Okay, so the security guards shot at the defendant?
Correct.
Did they provide a reasoning as to do so, or did they just start shooting?
Objection relevance.
Rebuttal. I'm interested in hearing this.
Could you just restate the question?
Yeah, Your Honor, defendant asserts that actions taken by the defendant could or have been... actions by the defendant were taken based on any perceived or actual violence towards the defendant. We're trying to investigate why.
I'm going to overrule. I do find this to be relevant and somewhat probative in this matter, especially considering that our jurisdiction has a singular murder statute rather than breaking it up into itemized degrees and pieces. So this could be pertinent in the court's decision-making in one form or another. So overruled, ask it again.
Did they provide, Sergeant Caruso, did the security guards who fired against the defendant provide a reasoning, or did they just start shooting?
Not to me personally. What I witnessed was the tow truck getting unhitched as the security guards arrived and them opening fire on the defendant.
Did you witness any communication between the security guards?
At which time? Can you clarify the question?
Yeah. Did you witness any communication between the security guards prior to them firing against the defendant?
It was a matter of seconds. At that time, I was, I'd say 20 yards away from the tow truck because I didn't have backup yet. So I did not witness any communication prior to them opening fire.
Okay. Did you see any communication between the security guards following them firing their weapons?
They were screaming about Martin and that he was in the back of the truck. At that time, you know, I had jumped in the water and was attempting to rescue the defendant and also some officers that had almost drowned trying to save people, save Martin Dunda.
So where did Nixon come into play here? Was it before or after the firing?
After.
And how soon did he arrive after the firing?
He had already been there.
Okay, so just to clarify, you had backup, but you didn't have backup. Can you clarify your statements, please? It calls for a narrative. I don't know if Leeds is going to correct it. Objection, non-answer, or non-responsive.
Give him a moment.
Understood. Objection withdrawn.
Just taking a minute.
Yeah, we
just
don't
fine.
have to
Objection
object
withdrawn.
we don't have
Can
to
you
object to
restate the question?
silence.
Yeah. So you stated that you didn't have backup, but you did have backup. Can you clarify when you received backup in the shooting process?
Once the shooting started, at that point the tow truck had been unhitched. At that point, I had backup.
So just to clarify, the tow truck the bank truck unhitched. Sorry, the tow truck was. The bank truck was unhitched from the tow truck during and after the firing from the security guards.
Before the firing from the security guards.
How soon?
Seconds.
Were they already pointing weapons at the defendant?
At the time it was unhitched?
No, let me clarify. Just a yes or no question. Yeah. Were they pointing weapons at the defendant prior to the vehicle being unhitched?
I don't recall.
Did you see at any point in time prior to the firing the security guards having any weapons brandished?
They disembarked from the vehicle and opened fire on the defendant pretty quickly. I'd say split seconds.
So you could say, with your experience as a law enforcement officer, it was extremely possible that they already had their weapons ready to fire prior to the unhitching of the vehicle.
Yes.
No questions. No further questions on cross, Your Honor. That was a nugget that we found just from a thing that you
I got something for you. I'm about to send it to you.
Okay. Prosecution.
Just a second, Your Honor.
I'll add the closing. That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm. Talia, I'll send it to you as well so you see it.
Yeah, we have no questions on redirect, Your Honor.
Oh.
That's fine, which means we don't have recross.
Okay. All right, Sergeant Caruso, you
No, I'm
have
reading
not
what you
been
sent.
called by the defense, which means you are good to step down and get on up out of here if you'd like to. Otherwise, you can step back to the prosecution table or over there to
You're gonna
the
put some effect
to
that he
the,
felt
the
threatened and that
side
the guy's
gallery
gonna
where
shoot him.
Well,
right?
yeah,
Tiberius
yeah,
and
that's on there.
That's
That
what I kind of felt like it. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw
so much,
exactly what I
Your
was doing. I saw a couple things and I was like,
All right, prosecution, looks like we have one more witness. Would we like to call them up?
that was a nugget.
Yes-
That was a
yes-
great nugget.
Yes, Your Honor. Prosecution calls Sergeant J.R. Nixon to the stand.
Let's go, Nixon.
Can we do something unique? Can we swear him in on Deep Throat or?
I am not deep throwing
What?
anyone, Your Honor.
Huh?
My God!
It's because of the thing.
My
you know,
watch.
with the-
He is not a
Because
crook.
of the thing.
The gold standard.
I can't believe it.
I mean, damn, he's sitting in a chair, not a black leather
Listen,
couch.
I'm named
I
after
don't
a
know if you can
president.
swear him in like that.
It is a
cannot
black
tell a
leather chair,
lie.
though, Your Honor.
It is, yeah.
Okay, Nixon, can you
Do we
raise
need
your
a
left hand for
secu-
me?
Do we need a security sweep at that desk?
Do you swear and
Maybe.
affirm that the testimony you're about to give this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Under the
Are you
pains
learning
and
anything?
penalties of perjury, so help you.
I'm doing
A
my
God
best.
with a deep voice, Sharadrick.
I do.
I know
Thank
it's
you,
kind of hard
sir.
to pretend.
He's been sworn
sometimes. I'm so used to this. This is kind of just second nature to me at this point.
No, it's okay. I'm just laying like the objections
prosecution,
on
the
shit.
witness
You're
is
fine.
Yours. Give me like 10 seconds. I need to sort my notes.
That's fine.
I want to ask Nixon like the first few questions about like his rank and all that shit, and then step
Go
down.
ahead and write them down. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so you have them on a piece of paper or on
What do I need
digital
to ask?
Google
Just
Doc.
like, can you define your rank, name, da da da?
Yeah.
Okay, ready when you are.
Actually,
Actually,
you state your name
we're
and
not
rank
going
for
to
the
object
record.
to. Oh, she just asked.
As of today, I'm
It's fine, I'll give you a
Sergeant
couple questions.
J.R. Nixon,
Okay. Yeah, just send it.
LSSD.
And were you on
Just text
duty
it to me.
on the date of the incident, December 13th, 2023?
I was on duty that fateful night.
And what call did you respond to on that fateful night?
Objection vague.
I'll rephrase. What question did you respond to on that fateful date that led us all to be here today?
Okay, we are going to sustain since you rephrase and we'll allow the new one to stand pending any further objection.
No further objection.
I responded to a 911 call that came in. The caller claimed that a tow truck had taken a bank truck with one of the bank truck's security guards still inside and was driving away. We had units in that area, but were unable to immediately gain visual contact with it. That's when we received a follow-up 911 call from the actual security guard in the back of the car.
Objection, facts,
which
and
I
evidence.
answered.
There's no image or record of any sort of 911 calls made that day.
It's in my...
Rebuttal from the prosecution.
It was mentioned. It was in the what's it called? Statement made by then Deputy now Sergeant Nixon. To my understanding, there are limitations with the dispatch system where you can't really go back that far.
Okay. Objection withdrawn.
get
That's
every
fine.
single call.
Yeah, we're fine
I
with that.
don't-
Objection withdrawn.
Yep. All right, perfect. All right, witness will answer. Let's continue.
Yeah, to finish the answer, yeah, after We weren't able to initially get contact with the vehicle. A second 911 call came in, which I answered personally. Sorry, I just need a moment. That's when I heard the horrified voice of the gentleman who is now deceased, pleading with me to help him. He said that he was being kidnapped.
Can I object?
And he
because
must
of
have
pain ring
said
again?
20, nay, 30 times that he was going to die. Help me, sir.
If he does that,
he's going to kill me.
Savi shit again.
Hold
He's
on,
going to
hold
kill
on.
me. You gotta help me. He's gonna kill me.
He's gonna overrule it.
And just to
We want to
confirm,
be serious
this
on this one.
911 call came directly from the victim, Martin Thunder.
That is correct. When I got him to calm down long enough to give me his name, he said his name was Martin Thunder, and he identified himself as a security guard in the back of a bank truck.
Alrighty. Were there any other threats made during that 911 call?
Indeed, as I tried to get the gentleman to calm down long enough to explain exactly where he was, and I tried to reassure him that police were on the way to keep him safe. He told me that he was having trouble locating where he was and telling us where to go because the bank truck was stopped and the guy was yelling at him to get out and open the door. He said he's got a knife. He was trying to get in there and stab me. He said he's going to stab me. I just told him, don't worry, stay inside the bank truck. Keep the door locked. You'll be safe. I thought I was telling him the truth. But God damn it, I might have signed his... if only he'd gotten out and run, maybe he would have had a chance. I don't know.
Objection, narrative.
Is the objection...
Sorry.
Counselor, is the objection to the... specifically to the last part that was kind of speculating personally if different directions have been given and so on?
Yes, sir. I provided an objection that I thought would stick more because of the narrative testimony that was granted.
Okay. Yep. Do we have any rebuttal to that, prosecution?
No rebuttal. We can strike that last sentence from the record.
All right. We're gonna strike that last little bit off of there. If you need a moment, Sergeant, you can take a moment. This is...
You're a hero, Nix. You're a hero. Thank you, Lou.
Your Honor, defense is fine with a 5-minute recess if necessary.
Are you talking to me? What's up?
Out of respect for everyone's time, we can keep going. I can get through this.
It's okay, Sergeant Nixon. I have no further questions on direct.
That's a sky. That's a type scope. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. I can
All
breach
right,
that
no
bitch.
further questions on direct.
Oh yeah.
You sure you don't need a moment or two?
You heard me about the
Sergeant Nixon?
knife
You
and
okay?
he had a
Good to
gun.
Continue.
No, I didn't hear.
Bring it
about
on,
that.
I say.
What'd you say?
All right, defense counsel.
He mentioned he was
witnesses
Thunder
will-
was mentioned he was scared in
Just
the
a
back
moment,
of the
Your Honor.
truck.
Okay.
He mentioned he was scared in the back of the
Your
truck
Honor,
for his life, and he had a gun,
clarification,
where
prosecution,
the guy
as
was
he is
threatening him
already
with a knife.
listed as a witness. In the interest of expediency, we wouldn't. Do you want us to like not object to scope so like we can save the time on the call and not have him like recalled?
I will leave that as an agreement between yourself and defense counsel. I personally have no issue with the witness being recalled because we've literally got 2 total witnesses and one of them might go twice. So, you know.
Can I speak directly to Counselor Leeds, Your Honor?
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that? Do you want me just we do our questions and then I go directly into direct examination?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's fine. It's just a little bit. It's a fuck it.
I'm gonna say no for this one.
Alright, no problem. We can proceed as usual, Your Honor.
So what was
All
it?
right,
What was it about the knife
proceeding
and
as
thing?
usual, we got cross-examination from defense counsel.
What was the thing about the knife and gun and whatever?
Sure. One moment, Your Honor.
Yep,
Then we'll be
whenever
ready.
you're
So he mentioned on the phone that he was fearing for his life because the guy was threatening him with a knife. Yet on his person, he had a pistol. He's a security guard, so he's trained to use it. So why is he fearing someone with a knife?
I don't think that's a question. I think that's a speculatory thing that we can add into closing.
Okay.
Can you write that down for me?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. I think I can ask
I'll
you a
send
couple
it to you
questions
on
about
a note.
it. All right. So for questions, Talia, I want you to go up and ask. Prior to the phone call, have you ever met Martin Thunder before? And then I want you to ask. Do you have? Oh, sorry. I want you to ask where in evidence you could provide that the number you received was Martin Thunder's. Okay. Do you want me to write it down for you?
If you could, yeah.
Yeah, let me write it down for you.
I was mentally writing it down, but
Okay, let me text you.
We'll be about a
you want me
minute,
to just
Yana.
like? So I'd say you want me to just open up with that
You
shit.
are fine. Take whatever time
Yep,
you need.
because we're in cross. We're not
Okay.
in direct.
Got it.
At any point in time prior
Let
to
me know
the
when you've
phone
written those
call.
down, because I think we can add one more.
I'm just gonna. You can send me down. I don't know if you need to.
While we've got a moment, let me just remind you all, if your phone isn't silenced...
Silent your phone. Silence your phone.
Oh, you're right. Alright, yeah. And I'll wait on sex when we can.
Okay. So I
Okay,
have
that's
I have
fair.
where and evidence for the phone number. How are you aware outside of self-identification? And then at any point in time prior to the phone call, have you met Martin Thunder? What are the other questions, Sec?
I just sent you a text message with one. It is about the gun, but I think it's a good way of introducing fact and pointing to the fact that Mr. Thunder had a gun.
Yeah, just do it to me as well. Do you want me to go the same order you just sent me?
I'm gonna send you more.
Okay.
In your statement.
I won't send it to you. I'll let Skyler decide if Skyler wants to put it in or not.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Let's go, police.
Let's go, police.
Out
Glad
in
to see-
recess, I missed something.
Okay. No,
Glad to save the phone
I'm
call.
prepping my paralegal. My paralegal will be asking a few questions. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, Sergeant Nix.
Speak with your chest.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Let me speak a little louder for you. Sergeant
that
Nixon,
microphone.
at any point in time prior to the phone call, have you ever encountered Martin Thunder?
I have, yes.
Okay. How are you aware, outside of his self-identification, that the person on the phone was Martin Thunder?
I had been responding to various disturbance reports throughout the night regarding a bank truck. And on 2 of those occasions, I spoke with Mr. Thunder, just asking him what exactly his job was, what was he doing, trying to get his side of stories. People were saying that they were being rude to the customers and threatening to pistol whip people if they didn't, get back from the bank truck, things like that. So by speaking to him several times that night, I'd become acquainted with him and learned his name and his face and his job.
Sergeant Nixon, and evidence can that the number calling both 911 and to your phone was from Martin Thunder?
I didn't quite hear the question. What was that?
Sure. So, Sergeant Nixon, where in the evidence can you confirm that the number calling both 911 and to your direct phone was from Martin Thunder?
I don't think they come. Well, I mean, I answer it on my cell phone, but I think it goes through the 911 dispatch system. So all we see is 911 call.
Okay. Did you by chance search Martin Thunder's possessions at any time?
Section scope.
Rebuttal.
No rebuttal. Open scope on my end, Your Honor. Talia, I got the rest of it.
Okay, for sure.
In your statement, Sergeant Nixon, it states that you attempted to go rescue Martin Thunder from the back of the truck. Is this correct?
Section scope.
Your Honor, I'm referencing evidence in his statement.
Do we have further posturing of that objective from the of that objection from the prosecution?
The questioning on the letter specifically pertaining to the 911 calls and Sergeant Nixon responded to those 911 calls. Scope had not been opened up to the police report or its contents.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that, Counselor.
Okay, so just to clarify, then, Sergeant Nixon, you answered phone calls from Mr. Thunder concerning his alleged entrapment in the bank truck. Is that correct?
Yes. His call came into 911 dispatch and was routed to my phone. Yes.
Did you how else did you respond to those 911 calls?
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
Yes. Did you only take the 911 calls, or did you do anything further outside of talking on the phone?
Oh, I see. Yes, I answered the 911 call. I relayed approximate coordinates from what I could gather from the deceased. Well, now he's deceased. At the time, he was very much alive. To the other officers to try to locate and find him, and I myself began driving into the area that I believed that we could find him.
Where was that area?
It was the dirt road and surrounding the Mirror Park Dam. He wasn't really able to tell me if he was on the north side of it or the south side of it. So me and Caruso approached from opposite directions, and he came across it while I was on the north side of the lake until I could circle around.
So you were just investigating the area to try to find the tow truck and the bank truck for Mr. Thunder.
That's correct.
Did you eventually find that bank truck?
Judge and scope.
Your Honor, I think I've opened scope enough to investigate further on the questioning.
I think you have, but I think you've also called this witness for a direct examination. So unless you plan on doing all of this again, do we really have to play putting a pick in the ice wall on this?
Yep, because Leeds forced me to.
The last one was you were investigating the area to. The question was, did you find the truck? Yes, I will. Yeah, scope's been open on that particular question. Overruled.
Yes, I was able to arrive at the scene of the bank truck. Yes.
And eventually, you dived in to go save him, correct?
I tried my best. Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Certainly.
Calls for narrative.
Once we arrived at the scene and I backed up Caruso, who was giving verbal instructions to the driver to surrender himself to the authorities, I arrived at the scene and parked my vehicle in a way that I could use it as cover in case, he had a gun or tried to shoot at us. We tried to negotiate with him, but damn it, wouldn't see reason. He started going towards the control mechanism. Other people started responding to the scene, police, security guards. We all surrounded the area, parked side by side, tried to get him to stop, but he flipped the switch, and then the bank truck went tumbling into the water.
So you saw the security guards draw weapons and the switch was flipped?
They were by our side, yeah. We were all trying to tell him to stop what he was doing and surrender himself.
Gotcha. So they were brandished?
That's correct. We were all side by side, weapons drawn, telling him to stop what he was doing.
What did you do after the bank truck was released from the tow truck?
Well, I heard other people firing their guns, but all I could see was that he was in the back of there. I was just talking to him. I holstered my pistol and I just ran. I ran towards the ledge and I dove over the side, reached out. I tried to get down to the bottom. The latch was stuck. I tried to open the door, and just as I almost got it open, the whole truck shifted slightly, and it cost me another 5 or 10 seconds before I could finally get it open. I grabbed his hand, and he looked at me, his eyes, pure terror.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and reference one of the images from evidence. I'd like you to reference specifically. We're looking at defendants A. I'd like you to reference defendants AA, rocks number 1.
How do I see? Is this in the State versus Adam Fart docket?
Yeah, it's in docket 1238. It's on defendants' motions. You're looking for one day motion to add evidence. Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yep, it'll be AA.
So AA, I see that. Okay.
Okay. Could you pull up that image for me, please?
Okay, I am looking at that image now.
And this is the location that the truck eventually landed from the release?
By that do you mean in the water or?
No, from
The rock?
from the initial release. Yeah, it landed on the rocks, correct?
I didn't see it landed on the rocks. I thought it went right into the water.
So at no point in time it landed on the rocks. It went directly into the water.
If it hit a rock on the way down, it would have been for a split second. I was running. I might not have seen if it hitched something on the way over.
Okay.
But
So from the angle that you saw the vehicle unhitched, you couldn't see if it hit land or not?
no, by the time I made it to the point where I jumped from, it was already 90% submerged. I just saw the headlight starting to go over the edge.
Got it. Let's go ahead and reference defendants AD, underwater 1. Let me know when you have that image up.
Did you say AD?
Yeah, the last one. Underwater 1 is the title of the image.
All right. I am looking at AD now.
Was this the final resting place of the vehicle when you attempted to rescue Martin Thunder?
I can't be sure. I didn't make it to the surface.
Understood.
I was singularly focused at the time going down.
Understood. What happened after you attempted to save him?
Well, I pointed up when I had his hand. It was so thick with mud down there.
Skyler's posturing because she kept scope tight and she's opening scope.
I became disoriented myself, and I saw him lagging behind. I tried to stay back to try to guide him to the surface, but I saw the light extinguish from his eyes, and he started just floating there. That's when I tried to turn and go to the surface myself, but I guess I got dizzy, and I guess I passed out after that. I don't remember anything.
When did you finally awake to consciousness?
I remember being on the shore again, back where our cruisers were, and Caruso was crying out. Everyone was frantic. EMS was running left and right. I don't remember much about it. It might have been moments later. It might have been half an hour later. I can't be sure. I was drifting in and out.
Understood. No further questions on Cross, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just wanted to posture.
Prosecution, do we have a redirect of the
How dare she
sergeant?
keep scope tight and let me open it up like that
Just a
bitch?
second, Your Honor.
Crazy.
I mean, I could have asked all those questions on the direct. The judge is correct, but I'm going to posture in front of the leads to understand what kind of enemy she's going against.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think we'll have any direct relevant questions.
Just to
He answered.
confirm, where was the tow truck positioned before it was before the truck was unhitched?
Where was the tow truck positioned?
Yep.
It was the front tires were still like on the dirt road, but the back tires were backed up right to the ledge that go down to the water in the dam.
And what was the positioning of the tow truck? What was the position of the bank truck in relation to the bed of the tow truck?
The bank truck was on the bed of the tow truck, hanging precariously out over the ledge.
Over the ledge. So it was no way that if it was unhitched, I could hit any land.
There's no way that anyone would unhitch that and expect that it wouldn't go in the water.
Thank you. No further questions on redirect.
Thanks, Donut.
Okay. Do we have recross?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll keep it very, very short.
Okay.
Sergeant Nixon, to what experience?
Yes, ma'am.
To what reasoning are you saying that there's no one that could expect the vehicle to drop into the water? Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. I say that because there's a lot of dry land around that area, and only a very limited area where there's water. And the positioning of the tow truck and being driven specifically to where it was, and the way that it was unloaded, the only conclusion that I could draw was that it was put there so that it would be going into the water if it was unhitched. It's the only thing I could possibly think of.
So just to clarify, you're speculating on the intentions of the driver?
Judge a misstatement of testimony.
Your Honor, I don't have a rebuttal to that.
Okay, if you don't have a rebuttal, then the court doesn't have one for you either. We're going to sustain.
Where do you draw that conclusion based on the actions of the tow truck driver?
Could you clarify the question? I don't really understand.
Yeah, why do you believe that he made that decision in the same outlook that you did?
Why do I believe that
Yeah.
this is Mr. Fart had that?
No, why do you believe he has the same belief that you do, that it would go into the water rather than going into the going under the land below?
Objection causes speculation. The sergeant can't testify as to the thoughts or conclusions that the defendant can make. If he was here, he would have been able to testify to it. But yeah, no show.
First and foremost, Your Honor, that requires the defendant to be able to waive his Fifth Amendment right to speak on the stand. Secondly, I'm asking specifically for the sergeant's conclusion of himself, why he's coming to that so eloquently put expert opinion, why everyone would believe one way.
Okay. I believe that I know the answer to this from the questioning of Caruso. Sergeant Nixon, were you present during the interrogation of Mr. Fart?
I was present that night, yes.
Okay. The court will instruct the witness to answer only as to personal knowledge, whether that's gleaned from the original scene or from the interrogation. Don't go speculating and putting that on my court record because I don't need it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Overruled. Let's continue.
Okay, overruled. I'll need. So the question you're asking me is why I believe that he knew that it would go into the water?
Yes, and not on the land.
And not on the land. Okay. Well, while at the scene before it went into the water, the instructions that I and other law enforcement were shouting at him was to, not to dump it into the water, which should make it very clear to him that if he unlatches it, it's going to go into the water. Everybody seemed to think so and be verbalizing the order not to do what he was doing, and he did it. But also later into the interrogation, he made claims that that he was aware that there was a person in the back and that putting it into the water was going to kill them.
How far into that interrogation did he admit that?
Probably like 2/3 of the way through, I think.
And so that was a pretty long time into the interrogation to have stress from the police, correct?
It was stressful for all of us, yes.
Okay, but there was a lot of pressure coming from the police to answer, correct?
Objection argumentative.
Your Honor, I'm allowed to be argumentative.
You're not. You're not allowed to be argumentative. Don't say that.
Your Honor, I'm allowed some leeway when it comes to a hostile witness.
You are. Let me take a look at your question here. I'm going to sustain this one on the grounds of it being inflammatory, that the court understands the legal argumentation being presented insofar as whether or not there was a knowing involuntary statement made by the defendant. You can make that argument in closing. You don't need to use the cop here to do it for you.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor. During that interrogation, Sergeant Nixon, from your experiences, actually, really quick, let's back up. From your experience as a law enforcement officer, I'm going to ask you a couple questions regarding your time. I'm not going to question your experience. I'm just asking from what you've done.
Sure.
How many interrogations roundabout have you done throughout your entire career?
Probably 50, 75, somewhere in that area.
So you would say you're pretty experienced with interrogations and witnesses on the other side?
I would say that I'm pretty experienced, yes.
From your professional experience as a sergeant and as a law enforcement officer, could you describe the state of the witness from the other side of the table?
Physically, he was well. He received medical treatment and was released into our custody before any sort of questioning was rendered to him.
But during the interrogation, he was shaking and crying.
Objection, counsel is testifying.
Your Honor, I'm asking a yes or no question. It's a leading question.
It's an extremely leading question, but you're not quite testifying. It's the question can still be answered no. I'm going to overrule.
Okay. Could you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, but he was still shaking and crying in interrogation.
Yes, suspects often shake and cry during interrogations.
So he was distraught at the mention of the death of Martin Thunder.
It's difficult to know. A lot of suspects cry in interrogation. Some of them are lying. Others are telling the truth. It's difficult to know from crying if someone's genuinely feeling that way. Or just wants you to think they are.
So even with your experience, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was genuine or if it was not?
Objection causes speculation.
No further questions on recross, Your Honor.
Okay, we're going to just count that one as withdrawn. Both counselors, I'm going to need you to stop just making a determination as to when we're done with the whole objection thing.
Yes, Your Honor.
If there's an objection on the floor, it is the court's prerogative to rule on it. You don't get to just drop the microphone and walk away. These microphones are on a stand. They don't drop, God damn it.
Understood, Your Honor.
Was the defendant Mirandized before the interrogation?
Objection. Nope, withdrawn.
Yes, the suspect was Mirandized before the interrogation, and once again, once the record button was pressed, we Mirandized him again for good measure.
I mean, they
You
didn't.
understand his Miranda rights?
They didn't.
They didn't.
They just said that he had invoked his Miranda rights.
Which
and,
is
that's
that's fine.
Sorry, one.
That's fine. An invocation of a lawyer is going to be.
The question was, did he understand his Miranda rights?
Well,
Yes,
he
he
had the right to
seemed
remain
to
silent at
understand
that
his
point.
Miranda rights, and in fact, invoked
I
them
mean, you can make the argument I'm
requested a
not.
lawyer, which we provided for him,
Yeah,
or which was provided for him.
And were all of the admissions made during interrogation after he was Mirandized and after he invoked his rights?
Yes, and indeed in the presence of his lawyer.
All right, no further questions.
Okay. Is there any further cross-examination of the witness on the limited scope of it? Was there a Miranda warning?
Wait. You want to ask about the lawyer's pills and why they didn't?
No. I'll tell you why. It should be in a different. No, Your Honor. There's no cross question. Did you send this to your grandma?
Okay, perfect. Sergeant Nixon, you can step down. You are marked for examination. Oh, do not drop.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna get these bolted to the table. I'm gonna get Sal in here. He's gonna bolt him to the table. Okay, all right.
think we'll need him?
You are good to step back to the prosecution's table. You have been marked to be called by the defense. I'm not sure if you still will be. They asked you a lot of questions already, but they might. So just stay over there for me for a little while, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Slash me, Gabs.
Prosecution. That is the conclusion of the witnesses that have been listed. Do we have any evidence?
I'm gonna need
we would
like 10 minutes to
review
fix
or
the closing.
Any, motions.
Obviously.
At this time.
Are there any direct questions that you want to ask of
highlight,
Nixon?
State's Exhibit A in the
Talia?
original incident
I didn't.
report.
You're fine. We don't have to pay attention
One,
to that. She's not going to say it. We
evidence
do have to pay
the
attention to it, but I'm
image
paying
tow
attention to
truck
it. So
scene
just pay
one.
attention.
I can't really think of anything, to be honest.
Okay.
The one thing I was gonna ask is like, did you actually check his shit? You know?
Well, it doesn't matter. What we should do, we can call him up there, ask him how his day is.
Should it be being the
I don't know,
autopsy report?
pander.
Oh, okay. Just be pedantic.
Yeah, but be
believe that
pedantic. See how far we can go.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much is the rest. We believe that we know.
Let's lighten up the case a little bit.
Sense of actual evidence,
Sure.
just the specific photo.
Just
You can
go
ask
ham.
him about his swimming ability.
With that.
After the other day, I don't think it's relevant.
Defense, do we need a recess before we throw the ball into your court?
No, sir. We're good to proceed.
Okay. Defense, we
Go
will
ham.
proceed with.
You got this.
With your
You want me to?
defense of
Yeah,
defendant
go
Adam
ham.
Ford.
To say how your
At
day
this
is and
time,
just
you can
ask
call a
inane
witness, you can
questions?
present
Yeah, until we
evidence,
can
or
get down.
we can jump straight into.
I'll call you. I'll call you back. I'll call you
highlighting
back.
everything.
They're saying we don't need to come up if we don't want to. One moment, Your Honor.
What did he say? Sorry.
Are you saying that we want to go straight into evidence? You want to pull him back up? So they're offering us the art of not to pull him back up.
I want to get her some experience for questions, just to get on the stand, just so she's used to it.
You just want me to be inane?
We'll be moving into witness, Your Honor. We're gonna call when we're ready. We're gonna call witnesses.
Okay, perfect. Well, the only witness that has been listed is you, Sergeant Nixon. So be ready to get back up to the plate again. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and state you'll be calling
Asking me is
Sergeant.
related to Richard Nixon.
Go ahead and call him, and then
Or Liam.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
no, that's Liam Neeson.
It's a good thing this is in the movie.
Go ahead and
What do I say?
Just say, Your Honor, we'll be calling Sergeant Nixon back up to the stand.
Okay. Your Honor, we'll be calling Sergeant Nixon back up to the stand.
Oh, you guessed right. Okay.
All right, Sergeant Nixon, go ahead and get on up here for me. The court will remind you you are still under oath. We're not going to swear you in again because, you know, the same.
Just wait for the
thing as
judge.
last time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Defense, the witness is yours when you're ready.
Go ahead. You got this.
I know that a police officer did not just enter my courtroom not wearing a shirt.
Where's her shirt?
I know you also did not cross the bar without permission. That is the violation of 2 rules of order.
Sorry, sir. We have food for you.
Oh, thank you for the food.
Also, my shirt. I had to give my shirt up because Bob Smith arrived at the courthouse in a towel. Someone gave him his shirt, so I gave them their shirt. So I currently don't have a shirt.
Why was he in a...
I'll allow it.
You don't get to allow things. You don't allow things, Greco.
Listen.
Okay, well,
I agree with Greco.
For my brothers and sisters,
No
he was
objection from
cold.
the defense, Your Honor.
Can I bring food for you?
You can bring food. That's fine.
Your Honor, no, wait. Your Honor, I want to bring to the court's notice that District Attorney Alexandra Leeds undermined your authority and said she backed up Greco.
Okay, I'm bringing food.
We can grief Leeds later. It's
Good.
been most of our time griefing Leeds.
Perfect. As long as we can do that later.
I mean, that's what I did on Cross.
But the court specifically earmarks time after this trial to grief Leeds.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Beautiful.
I'll bring the baseball bat.
I hate it here.
I have a
There you go,
I
Your
have a
Honor.
baseball bat.
Me too.
Nixon, do you need food?
I could use, yeah.
You
I have a
need
golf
food?
club.
Yeah, please.
I have a golf club. I have a baseball bat. I have a sniper rifle, and I got a knife.
Can you get that?
gun.
Teeth.
I took the golf club.
I have
from
a
my
dog.
dad.
Yeah, you doing all right on food
There you
and
go.
water?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You guys need food over here?
Doesn't matter. I don't need a gun. I got donut. Donut, you
Man,
help me, right?
Sewn into your
Donut.
skin.
Donut.
Yeah, I love my job. No, I love him so much. I got him sewn into me. And would you like food?
I hope you guys are having fun. I'm not really looking at chat for obvious
Donut.
reasons. So
No, I actually have some extra food
Defense?
and water.
Yes, please. I would like some food.
if you have any drinks, sure. but
Yeah, I
food,
got
I'm
drinks.
okay.
It's okay.
I got a soda for you. Here you go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
One for you.
Thank you.
All right. While food is passed
There you go.
through the,
Look at
through
that.
the galley.
Talent.
Thank you, officer. I appreciate you. I am going to go ahead and say I'm going to allow the objection of asked and answered as to this witness. He's already been on my stand for about 45 cumulative minutes.
That's true.
So if we make him repeat stuff that I've already written down and you make my fingers hurt by making me write it down again, you better get objected to. Defense counsel, the witness is yours.
Your Honor, we will not be purposefully making your fingies hurt. Pinky promise.
All right. Sergeant Nixon, I have a question for you. How's your
Yes,
day going?
ma'am. Not very
Objection
good.
from the bench relevancy. We don't care how his day is going.
What?
Oh.
Your Honor.
Baron!
It's
Seconded by
irrelevant.
Your Honor,
Donut.
can I rebut that?
No.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I object to the cultural appropriation from Leeds screaming Marone.
It's
I
crazy,
wasn't
man.
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Ay, caramba.
Sergeant Nixon, can you explain what Icarumba means?
I didn't appreciate it.
I don't know. Bart Simpson says it.
Oh, okay. Let me think of a few things. Sergeant Nixon, how well would you say your swimming ability is?
Objection relevance.
Your Honor, it was referenced in previous testimony and statement about him swimming and going after to save or allegedly save Thunder. We're asking to have him quantify it based on his experience.
Can I take his shirt off?
It's okay. No. The rules say people wear shirts in the courtroom.
Yeah,
unless
but,
they're
like-
unless they're delivering food and they're given a special exception.
But he could take his shirt off though.
No.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna overrule. I find this to be relevant, although only very slightly. So you're on a tight leash with this, counsel.
Would you like to repeat the question, Sergeant Nixon? Do you need it repeated?
So your question was
Yes.
my about my swimming proficiency?
Yes. How good is your
Okay.
swimming proficiency?
In order to pass the police academy here in San Andreas, we are required to pass a swim certification course that's put on by state divers to make sure that we are within the top 40th percentile in activities such as swimming, diving, in case of emergency rescue type situations. So I would say I am better than average. I'm no Olympian, but I am certainly better than average at swimming.
Sergeant Nixon, could you define where you took these courses?
Absolutely. Well, we departed from the Noose headquarters off Substantia Road, and dive team just went off the coast there to the east, swam by some dolphins and some orcas, and we all made sure that we got out of there in one piece that day. Cold as hell. In January.
Okay, thanks.
Instructor was
How
an
deep?
asshole.
President Nixon, how deep would you say the water was at that moment?
You have to be more. Do you mean the water during the swim training?
During the swim test, yes.
Oh, okay.
Objection relevance.
Your Honor, just because someone is trained and proficient in swimming does not mean they're proficient in deep diving swimming. We believe that with Sergeant Nixon's experience, extensive experience as a law enforcement officer, he would be able to, once diving in, having trained, be able to analyze whether he would be able to make it down there based on the training. We're asking for specifics on his knowledge on that depth.
Okay, you just summarized in about 1/3 the amount of words that have gone into the questions that have been asked to get there so far. So again, short leash, overruled. I'm giving you 2 questions to get there.
Okay. Would you like me to restate the question, Sergeant Nixon?
Yes.
He's not wrong.
Okay. How deep would you say the water you dived in during your diving tests are? Excuse me.
We train in an indoor pool before we hit the ocean, just to make sure these people can actually swim. So they'll go down about 20 feet, and then once we go out into the deeper waters, depending on the skill level of the instructors and how many cadets are being trained, we could go out to 30 feet to 40 feet.
Sergeant Nixon, would you define that the place you swam in order to potentially save Mr. Slaughter's life was about the same depth as you swam previously in these tests?
Objection, lead-in.
Rebuttal? Or sorry, yeah, rebuttal to the objection?
I can help her rephrase, Your Honor. Or I can help her rephrase, Your Honor.
Okay,
Talia.
sustained, rephrase.
1 second, Your
Just ask,
Now can you take your shirt off?
based
No.
based on your experience,
Your Honor, my
sorry, based
people would be
based on the
willing
knowledge
to-
of your
and when I
training,
say
would
my
you say
people, I
that
mean, of
you
course, the Italian Americans representation.
Sorry,
and law
I'm distracted
enforcement,
because
I'd
of
be
the
willing to take my shirt off if it pleases the court.
It would
objection. No.
The rules
Objection.
of the court,
No.
The rules of the court. Okay, okay. I would agree with contempt.
Just
You're
go.
going to get contempt.
Based on your training, do you believe that you were qualified to go down into the depth that
Objection. That
into the
officer's
depth of
simping
save
at that
thunder?
judge.
No, I'm just a public
That's vague
servant,
enough.
Your
That should
Honor.
be vague enough.
Okay.
Hey.
Defense is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay, let's continue.
Sergeant Nixon, based off your previous training, would you define that the depth you had swam in previous was concurrent and consistent enough for you to be able to swim to where you were at the dam at that moment in order to save Mr. Slaughter's life?
That's not what I said, but that's fine.
Based on the information I had before I
Yeah, she's
dove
doing
into
okay.
it, or do you mean now in
Correct.
retrospect?
I mean, yeah, in that moment.
In that moment. I haven't dove into that area in the dam before, so I wasn't exactly sure how deep it was going to go, but I knew it was a dam area and that it was probably within the range of my skill level.
We're good, unless move
Okay.
to a different line of questioning. If you have,
We're gonna move to a different line of questioning, Your Honor, if that's okay.
You don't need my permission for that. Go for it.
Okay, sure.
only if you have any.
I ain't got none. No.
The defense is done on direct examination, Your Honor. How you feeling?
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Do we have
What do you mean?
cross-examination from
Like your
the
confidence, your
prosecution
quality of
on the
I
line
questions?
of
was
questioning?
jittery. My jittery.
You're good.
My fucking
You're good.
jitteriness
You're
fucked up my
doing
questions.
excellent.
Thank you.
Like genuinely, I'm proud of you. That's excellent.
Thank you.
No questions on cross-examination.
All right. Perfect.
Wow,
I have
thank
a
you so
bonus
much, sir.
question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You said your
Wow, thank you so
swimming
much.
certification started at
I feel like a
Noose
dog girl right
off
now.
the eastern side of the island. You said that was in January.
That sounds like
Yeah, we had a course go in. We
Yeah.
do 2 courses a year. One's in January and one starts in July.
Which January was that?
Which January? My
Uh-huh.
goodness, this must have been 7 years ago.
Okay, so you haven't been recertified in 7 years.
We that was to get our first certification. We didn't get the questioning.
I think he
to-
just
to go
gave that to
far,
us.
But yeah, we're
He
recertified
is,
every 3
yeah.
years.
But I
Gotcha,
don't
okay.
tend to ask
Alright,
a lot about
alright,
police
that's fair.
training.
That's fair.
I was wondering if you were like special forces or something. I'm wondering why you were out here last
He's,
year. Okay, all
his
right. Well, I
answers
tried
were
to
really
trip you
good.
up. All right, you're good to stand up. You can. You're not at the bench. You don't get to ask those.
Hold on.
Oh, look, Judge Weiss is on the bench.
The bench has a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, take your shirt off.
Oh,
It'll be a violation of the court's rules. Don't do it. It's a trap.
but one judge is saying I have to, and the other says like, well, are you asking me to do it, or are you ordering me to do
Who
it?
said that? Who said that?
Coward.
Said that.
It's a court. It's a court order.
Court order.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Hey.
All right, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
Your Honor, objection.
Hasn't this man been through enough?
Put your shirt back onto
Ow,
your
that
body.
pin was right into my chest too. That hurt.
Yeah, there's a little blood there, like a little tiny bit of blood.
Oh, where? I can get that.
No, just because you're dressed like John Constantine does not mean no. All right, Sergeant Nixon, you can go back to the prosecutor's table.
There's a doctor in the galley who can help him with the blood.
All right, how's
with the
that?
bleeding.
Is that acceptable? For both judges? Both judges acceptable?
That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Business
Fine
casual.
with that.
That's what it says.
All right. Everyone should be happy with that solution.
I didn't like any of that.
What?
Retweet.
RT.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, defense, we are back with you. This is your opportunity to present or discuss evidence that's been presented previously by the prosecution. Otherwise, once you rest, we're moving into closings.
The defense will rest at this time, and we ask for a 10-minute recess to re-prep our closing.
Okay. All right. In that case, we will call the court into recess. We will reconvene at 15 after the hour. Judge West, gavel sounds.
Gavel sounds. Bang, bang, bang.
Officers walking in the courtroom without a fucking shirt on.
Ooh, sorry. Okay, I need to go somewhere that's going to be quiet. We're going to put on some music, and I'm going to amend some of the... okay. So these words and actions, through these words and actions, drawn prior to the release of the bank truck. So the defendant speaks on the fourth on from his offenders. How does the threat of a petty knife cause a trained guard forget his firearms training? Okay, let's first discuss the frame for police and totals, unrefuted facts. So this is being this all wraps up chaotic litigation solved. Officers quickly press charges with a forethought. You guys, this man's holler clear as day. One man is dead and another is on lifeline. Okay, I have a couple minutes. I'm gonna go pee really quick. We're gonna just chill. You're gonna listen to beautiful music. Okay. Let's go over this one more time. Stands presented in a court. Let's first discuss Feeding facts. Tears falling, shake the defendant's actions. Are you texting me?
I was just giving you the state's exhibit A, the image Martin Thunder's possessions on death. That has the gun in it, so you don't need to infer it. You can just quote that.
Perfect.
Well, he might have been our one true leader. The coalition. We're gonna rise up. End this discrimination. We're rising up.
Lights just got real dim in here, didn't
Okay, I'm good. I think Talia did a good job. I think she needs a little bit more training, but a couple more of these. I'd like to take her out on a couple cell reps, and then I'll put my recommendation in.
Hell yeah.
What's up?
We're talking about penis.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now I don't really like it.
That's fair. I don't either.
Me neither.
Yeah, that's it too.
I'm glad we all agree that.
The anti-penis circle here.
No, for real, what are we talking about?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Just in
Alright, that
case.
is going to bring us to 15 after the hour. Defense Counsel, you've had more than your 10 minutes. You've had 11 minutes. So we are going to call this court back into session. Judge West will do gavel sounds upon reaching the box on the side.
All right, gavel sounds, bang, bang, bang.
All right, perfect. There we go. Okay, prosecution. Are you prepared to give your closing statement?
Just second, Your Honor. Sorry. I'm just. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we're ready.
All right, defense.
Did you just? Yeah, fuck it, YOLO. Let's go.
Yes, Your Honor. Defense is ready to proceed.
All right, perfect.
House
show me-
writings, a lot of.
Fucking weed ball,
Yep,
you're on.
the court is going to show the defense ready to proceed and the prosecution ready to
All right.
What is it, Bill O'Reilly?
When
fuck
I
up the
say
boot
the
live.
end of
All right,
before,
get on up here. Let's go for
I'm
it.
gonna sigh
The hero mind.
before I speak. I want you to time me. I want to see how long I can go.
Okay.
Okay.
Your
I ain't
Honor,
gonna time
and
her,
people
how
of the
about
court, the evidence and testimony presented before you here today is a damning testament to greed, malice of forethought, and a shocking disregard for human life.
Oh, she
Officer
quoted my
statements and
opening. That's a good
911 calls made showed that Adam Fart intentionally stole the band truck outside the DMV, despite being told by a deputy on scene not to do so. 911 calls made by the victim, Martin Thunder, to Sergeant Nixon, showed clear premeditation and malice of forethought. Over 30 pleas for his life and multiple threats to his life. He said multiple times that he was going to kill him, referencing Adam Fart, saying that Adam Fart was going to kill Martin Thunder. These repeated threats, as well as the intentional act of dumping the band truck into the Mirror Park Dam, demonstrate a clear and calculated disregard for human life. Let's not make any mistake here today. Adam Fart was not acting in the heat of the moment. He was proceeding with a plan to kill Martin Thunder. The defendant intentionally positioned the tow truck and backed it up to the ledge with the band truck hanging off the edge. We had testimony today that highlighted that there was no way that anyone would have thought that band truck was going to make it onto land. Officer testimony as well was referenced saying that the defendant saw officers and fled from law enforcement up to the point where it was backed up onto the ledge. Adam Fart's attempts. Actually, sorry. I went a little bit too fast. Interrogation. The interrogation afterwards shows the clear reasoning the interrogation afterwards, as well as the admissions made by Adam Fart, showed his reasoning for stealing the bank truck. He wanted to steal the money inside. And he also said, if he can't have the money, no one else can. That, as well as his admission of Martin Thunder's presence in the back of the bank truck, shows a lot of premeditation that we simply cannot overlook. The defendant's attempts to justify his actions do not excuse the reality that he willingly and knowingly endangered another human being and made a plan to kill him. As you deliberate, Your Honor, remember the threats that were made during those 911 calls. Remember the intentional acts that led to the tragic death of Martin Thunder. The evidence before you establishes not only that he is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but also shows lots of levels of malice, premeditation, malice of forethought that demands accountability. As I said already, the evidence and testimony before you shows that we've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of the charges against him, and we implore you for justice, not only for the people of San Andreas, but also for his colleagues, Chris Ethan, John Bank, Dick Richard. They have to live for the rest of their life knowing that their fellow friend and co-worker died as a clear result of
Could have
Mr.
jumped in and
Fart's
tried to
actions.
save him. Instead,
And
they
they're gonna have
decided
to
to
live
shoot
with
down
that
Mr. Fart
for the rest of
and
their
try and kill
lives.
him.
Yeah.
Correct.
The state wants justice. His friends and family that
They weren't even arrested.
survive demand justice. We implore you to find the defendant guilty on all counts, Your Honor.
That's good for not
Thank you.
for no preparation.
All right. Defense, are you ready to present your closing? Let's get on
Yes,
into it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The floor is yours.
The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. For in all the states of created beings capable of law, where there is no law, there is no freedom. John Locke. Today we ask to see that freedom. Freedom is often given only as a privilege and not a right. Freedom is often ripped away with glib at any chance by those who are given the power to do so. Here, however, with law, we beg the query that is ensuring that this freedom is kept. The state has presented a case that, from the defendant's point of view, demands the revocation of freedom without justification. With this revocation would be their life, not through death necessarily, but the other retraction of their freedom by life in prison. The sentencing request by the state has no clear standing, and the charge of murder simply does not fit here. Let us first discuss the unrefuted facts that are consistent in all evidence and every testimony. The defendant took a bank truck. The defendant ran from police. The defendant released his tow truck to let the bank truck fall into the shallow part of the Tatavian Mountains reservoir. What is in dispute, however, is the intention of the truck and the state of mind of the defendant when the truck was released into the reservoir. These can all be inferred and surmised through what has been presented by both sides today. The first disputed fact sits in the State's Exhibit C. In the State's Exhibit C, the defendant is interrogated nearly immediately after the passing of Mr. Thunder. Tears fall and hands shake from waves of remorse at the loss of Mr. Thunder at the hands of the defendant. The defendant's actions are consistent with a man in fear. Never an intention, no malice afterthought, no true or actual premeditation or design to kill Mr. Thunder. This is conferred with direct testimony from both Sergeant Caruso and Sergeant Nixon today. Guns were present and drawn prior to the release of the bank truck from both officers, but mainly the security guards. Through Exhibit C in Sergeant Nixon's testimony, we can see clear the unfettered reaction of the defendant at interrogation, remorse, tears, and panic. Through these words and actions, it should be unrefuted that this is not murder. Even so, let's mention the most problematic part of this interrogation, which is the requested timeline. The defendant is asked in a very confusing and ill-defined manner on if he knew that Mr. Thunder was in the back of the truck. Eventually, the defendant acquiesces to the demands of officers and claims under the officers and his own internal duress to admit to what he believed he knew. Even by the defense, the situation is shaky at best for any evidentiary value. The second portion comes from Sergeant Nixon's testimony in his prior statement. Apparently, at some point, Mr. Thunder called Sergeant Nixon to discuss the tenuous situation. We cannot question what's presented directly, so the defense brings to question now. Is the deceased partner's statement, is the partner of the deceased statement enough? Chris Ethan states that the defendant had no way of knowing that Mr. Thunder was inside the bank truck. That is a direct quote. In John Banks' statement, the timeline is clear. People left the bank truck. The defendant pulls up and tows the bank truck away. The defendant speeds off without a forethought. How are we to take the alleged dying declaration from Mr. Thunder to Sergeant Nixon as fact without taking in these other similar statements with their own strength? The fact is that we can't. Neither Mr. Bank nor Mr. Ethan were called by the state today to corroborate their assertion of premeditation and motive, or lack thereof. The only motive that we see or hear is from Sergeant Nixon through the dying declaration of Mr. Thunder. Further, these trained security guards were armed prior to the snatching of the bank truck. We can see in the state's Exhibit A that Mr. Thunder was armed with a pistol like all the security guards were. With being armed with a pistol, Mr. Thunder would have been trained. How does a threat like a knife from a petty thief cause such a distress to a trained guard to forget his firearms training? This all wraps up in a nice, chaotic, spread out pile of litigation that could have easily been solved through clear and thorough investigation. Officers were quick to press charges without forethought. They pressed charges with the assumption of guilt rather than fully outlining the situation. They saw a life pass and planned on ruining another. Your Honors, this is manslaughter clear as day, not murder. Why would someone steal a bank truck, run away from the police, admit in interrogation that they only wanted money to turn into a cold-blooded, predisposed, and calculated murderer? The truth is that they didn't. The defendant attempted to steal a bunch of money, not murder someone. One man is dead. Another is on trial to have their life changed forever because of a stupid mistake. Let's not ruin another life because of the ignorance and predisposition of guilt in a state where freedom should be the right to be revoked because of heinous decisions, not a privilege revoked because of mistakes. Correct the mistakes made by the state, Your Honors, and find that this right to freedom is kept. The decision here today will ring true, and we pray to the court to see what we see, to find what we find in the fallacy of accidents rather than the forethought of decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, defense. Okay, we are going to put this matter into recess
What'd you think?
momentarily.
Good.
Defense, this is
What was the time?
primarily a question for you.
6 minutes,
Prosecution,
7
you can
seconds,
chime
and
in if you'd like
0.27
to.
milliseconds.
Typically speaking, with a case of this magnitude, in the event that a defendant is found guilty, we would provide the opportunity for a secondary hearing for the purpose of sentencing. Given that our defendant is not here, in the event that that does become the case, would we like to set up a second hearing for him? Essentially, do you want us to skip on deliberations insofar as the actual sentence would be concerned? Does that make sense?
It does. Can we sidebar with you with the state to discuss that, or do you want me to state my opinion here?
We can sidebar. We'll step into chambers.
Okay.
Yeah, so speaking very plainly, obviously I haven't reached this stage yet. However, in the event that we do reach that stage, we want to know whether that's a bridge that we're going to cross today or if we want to cross it at a later date.
If this wasn't the first case that the reconstructed government were to see, I would say, nah, skip it, just sentence him now. But we come in a peculiar decision where do we wish for this to feather on further and go into a sentencing hearing? I'm fine with the sentencing hearing absent of the defendant. But I'm not even sure that, to be honest, if there is a sentencing hearing, that we will have anyone speak up for the defendant rather outside of counsel. So
that's my concern as well. However, if we do reach that stage, I would like to at least provide the defendant an opportunity to speak on their own behalf, and that's the reason. Because I'm of two minds about it. On one hand, I'd like to provide the defendant an opportunity to speak on their own behalf, for the purposes of sentencing. But on the other hand, you're quite right. This matter has dragged on for a while. So whatever counsel agrees to, I am okay with.
Leads. I don't want this to be solely my decision. I think this should, as a Department of Justice, I think we should generally majority agree on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I want him to have the chance to, at least, if he is found guilty and there is a sentencing hearing, at least to have an opportunity to give a statement in the course to decide in terms of the sentencing. I've crashed. I'm sorry. It's very
We're gonna have a
late.
discussion about this. So I'm going to be honest. Personally, my personal preference will be if this is going to be a capital level conviction. If it gets to that point, if it looks like that point, I would always prefer a sentencing hearing.
Well, this isn't the word capital is not really on the table for this one because it hasn't been requested.
Yeah, even life. I think we're looking at like life in prison. If we're getting to that point, even if that's like in the remit of discussion, I think a full sentencing hearing is probably, I think you set that precedent. I don't think you set the other one. I don't think you set the precedent.
I don't
expect that.
So let me offer a solution then. If I can't get a hold, if for example it were to go to a sentencing hearing, then grant me
if it's going to go to a sentencing hearing, what will happen is a bench warrant will be put out for Mr. Fart to turn himself into police custody, and hopefully within the week we'll get something scheduled up.
If for some reason I don't get a hold of him within a week and it's I don't know 12 hours before the sentencing hearing, I'm fine with the state announcement and post on the docket concerning that matter. I'm going to continue to be vigilant on ensuring I can reach out to him. But if he's not willing, I'll be plain. I'm going to speak plainly here. If he's not willing to show up to his own sentencing hearing, if there is one, then honestly, my state appointed representation can only go so far. So,
okay. All right, perfect. Okay, counselors, leave us. We're going to deliberate on the matters and we'll be back out.
Understood.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I thought I'll be okay with the case going into this time. Clearly, I've crashed.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
We know now. That's the important thing. Is like, that this is going to be too late for you. So.
Oh no, it usually isn't. I'm just
look forward to talking
busy
to you.
in the office today.
You're good.
Smile.
You're good. Yeah, it happens. It's okay.
I'm not doing. Yeah, I don't even.
You're good.
If there's sentencing hearing, it has to happen. It's gonna happen another day anyway.
Yeah. So, good shit, Leeds.
Yeah, it was a good case.
I'm not entirely sure what this outcome will be. Because he could just lean to, it was a heat of the moment kind of release, whatever. I think we ended up finding gold when it came to all the security guards had weapons drawn, because I didn't even have to ask that question. Nixon answered it for himself.
He seems a very truthful police officer.
Yes, I think he's truthful to a fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had guns drawn. This is a man who's not used to guns. Why the fuck would this guy in the back of the truck go, oh my god, a knife, when he has a fucking pistol? He has firearms training. He's a security guard.
It's also a matter of fact that the other dudes that were there also didn't do dick all that.
What do you mean?
Like, wasn't there people also on the scene that weren't cops?
Yeah, there's security guards. Yeah.
Supposedly they got out and
Why
just
did they
started
also not
blasting.
do anything?
Supposedly what?
Supposedly, I mean, one of the testimonies was they got out and just started blasting. So there was, refuting testimony on two different things.
Yeah.
Because one of them said
multiple
security
people
started
jumped out
blasting.
of the truck after it
Yeah.
already hit the water and started
Yeah.
blasting him. But then this other guy decided to not get out of the truck.
Well, not
and
even
drowned.
before. No, they all started blasting him before it happened.
Oh.
Like
So what the fuck?
they pulled guns and were like blah blah blah. There's conflicting testimony from all sides.
Yeah.
I should have probably put that in my closing, but
That's fine. You can't cover everything, and sounds like the judge wouldn't have missed it anyway.
6 minutes
I think
7
it's
seconds. Fuck.
6 minutes 7 seconds and 26 milliseconds.
Yeah, I have an old rival from law school that went I think 48 minutes on his closing. So I'm trying
like
to write, huh?
That's almost like a filibuster.
Yeah, I mean the longest closing that I'm aware of was 28 hours.
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's insane.
Yep, he got 2 teenage boys off of first-degree murder and got it to I think it was manslaughter, or
Damn.
second degree. Oh, and he got him out of the death penalty, but got him life in prison. That's right.
Oh okay.
Fuck, 6 minutes. It's not long at all.
You know what my favorite degree of murder is?
What?
Second degree.
I can't handle you, Zach. Are you kidding me? The fuck out of
Hey,
here.
I had good input.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is sleepy psych we're dealing with here.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, this has been amazing. Well, thank you.
Quick point of order for those in the courtroom. In the settings on your phone, you can actually mute your phone just for future reference.
Good pick on Exhibit A, by the way. I was missing that one, so.
Thanks for that.
You're amazing, Donut. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
good call.
Kat. Thank you, Lee.
Talia, do you have any
Thank y'all.
questions?
You're all doing a really good job, both in the gallery and in the well.
No? Was there anything in particular that you enjoyed about watching the proceeding?
Yeah,
What did you enjoy?
I liked watching Leeds stumble over herself for a closing.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was amusing.
It doesn't seem like she prepares necessarily everything on there. I thought I was pretty prepared. I think I did okay on my closing.
I think you did good too. In terms of questioning, I think there could have been, if we were not given this narrowest scope in the fucking world, we probably could ask, like, why did you not jump in earlier? Why did you plan on shooting the guy instead of jumping in to save another person?
We could have asked that on direct. Those are questions that we absolutely could have asked on direct. That's why you always call witnesses again, or in bench trials you recall them if you have any questions that you need to ask. So I could have also opened that scope up. The only reason I didn't ask those questions on direct was one, kind of time-saving measure. Two, Leeds sat over there and was like, haha, I got her on scope. Snap, snap, snap. I'm like, no, bitch, you did not. Opening a scope is one of my favorite things to do. It's just me anyway. But what did you learn?
I'm gonna have to learn all the objections for sure.
There's a quick list in the Department of Justice section. Documents, Department of Justice. Yeah, objections. Also, I sent you that link for 17 mock objection or
I got
mock
that
trial.
one.
So, if unfair extrapolation, creation of material fact, that is one objection you will never use in an actual courtroom. What that is in mock trials, you're given a packet. Both sides are given a packet with evidence. You build your case based on that. It's like all your evidence is ready in that packet. If someone, for example, goes like, "Oh yeah, no, totally, this is we're gonna create this fake fact that we found just to throw people off," you go objection, unfair extrapolation. So it's only really done when there's a predisposition of facts. Where here it's a real live trial, it's a real live murder, it's a real live everything. That's the only objection on that list you will never use. That being said,
sorry, mister.
everything else is good.
Okay.
So there's not like there are pretty much mainstays like 14, 15 mainstay objection, but you can pretty much Google like objections in court, and most of the time you'll find like the same 5, 6, 7. So Kagan, welcome in.
I thought that's like a key proponent of court. It seems like.
It is because you try to keep it fair between questions. Each direct examination and cross-examination have their own rules. Direct examination, you have to ask open-ended questions or yes or no questions that allow for the witness to answer in a way that they wish. Cross-examination, because it's not your witness, they are inherently hostile. That's a legal term, just meaning that they're not your witness, which means you can be a little aggressive with them, which you saw, which the judge even called me out on it twice for being argumentative and leading. Those are good tools you can use on cross.
Excuse
and that
me,
just
peoples
takes
of
time.
the courts. I just wanted to say you're all doing a freaking great job. I love
No,
you. You're
you.
amazing.
No, you.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Okay, bye, pretty lady.
Bye. Have a great day.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you. All of that you'll learn with time. It's not. You have to keep in mind both Sek and I have years and years of experience. None of this, how we act, how we write, none of that will ever be expected of you on day 1 or day 2 or day 10 or day 100. It literally just takes time. You'll figure out your own course, and even if you never do a trial like this, you'll figure it out for cell representation, stuff like that. Be patient with
I
yourself.
feel like I'd be pretty decent at cell reps.
I think you will.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's just a matter of actually getting them. So.
I genuinely think you will.
Yeah.
One thing I will tell you, if I get a cell rep and we happen to be near each other, I'll call you if something happens like that.
Okay.
I'll give you a call and you're welcome to join me.
Me and Sek have done cell reps before, so I mean, it's never really
Perfect.
been an
Okay.
issue. So.
We have a fuck ton of lawyers. Who's Paul Evans?
No
Not sure.
idea.
What?
Oh, he's here somewhere.
Above us, maybe.
Why do you hang up on me?
Oh.
Bill Blunderson. Bill Blunderman.
Hi, Bill Blunderman, Blunderman and Son.
Hi, Bill. This is Skyler Sparks. I'm a fellow attorney. How are you?
I'm just fine. Yeah, how are you?
Doing pretty well. I just saw you in the app. I figured I'd give you a call. That way you have like a voice to the name. And if you need any assistance or anything, if you ever want to chat, just let me know. Okay?
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries, Bill. You have a good one. Okay?
Oh, you too.
Bye.
I think that doing like D&B shit kind of prevent me for like once I hyper fixate on one certain thing or one certain like line of questioning I could do, I could just fucking ram through that shit.
Yep, you were. And so it's just a matter of you need to be
phrasing
careful.
it a certain way so it's not like out of scope, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but you have to also know you have to know the judge you're going against. And that just takes time. That's literally just time. It's like coworkers, friends. It's like when you start dating someone, you don't know if they really like pickles or not until like the 4th date or something like that. So,
right,
shit like that.
No,
So.
I'm glad Bontai didn't fucking roast me. So,
no, I asked a little bit. He warned you, that was not a warning to you. That was a warning to me and Sek to get you in line, and not in line for like, oh, you're doing really bad. It was, this is your paralegal. Make sure to teach her, and small stuff like that you'll learn. So, you'll be okay. If you were able to do cell reps by yourself now, would you? I'm just curious.
Depending on the officer.
Sometimes you don't get that choice.
He doesn't want to deal with medics.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't want to deal with medics because there's no give, you know? Zero give.
I disagree. If you go in placating to whatever his fucking issue is, just be like, I mean, at that point you go to bench trial, right? If there's something weird about it.
Right.
Just treat him as if he's your like half step superior, even though he's not, and he'll be placated. So it'll be
Step
easy.
superior. I'm stuck in a dryer.
Fuck
That's
off.
where my mind went as well.
But no, honestly, like me and Sek have dealt with Maddox like quite a bit, especially like in the opening days. And I don't know if he's different now, but he definitely wasn't. And...
Well, I mean, worst case, he's not different now, and you just go, well, this sucks. You have a shitty officer. You plead not guilty, and then we go into appeal. Easy.
Yep. Fair. Yeah, I mean, I do that for sure.
How are you feeling about this, Sek?
Yeah, I think we nailed what we needed to. I think we got more than we were expecting when we found little hidden gems. So I'm confident of manslaughter, but could be second degree as well.
I think so too.
It's not first degree. We proved that.
No.
So that's what matters.
100%. But the thing is, even with second degree, there has to be an intention to kill. You just kill in the heat of passion. I genuinely think this is manslaughter, and hopefully, you know, I'll ask the judge. You know, I'm not gonna be disappointed if it's not. If the defendant was here, I'd be a little bit more disappointed. But he was offered every opportunity to show up, and unless there's an extenuating circumstance, it's hard for me to be an assigned public defender, sitting here putting hours in and work and looking at it and going, well, he didn't show up, so, you know, I should care just as much. If he doesn't care about his case, it's hard for me to give that much care. I'm still going to. Obviously, I still fought fervently for his case, but you know how it is. So
I mean, that's why I kept quiet in the chambers when we were talking about the
Mhm.
the sentencing, because if you don't turn up, I generally don't give a fuck. I'm going to say just sentence on the day, but that's not up to me. It's not my case. And also,
Yeah.
I give less of a shit about people, so...
I think it's really important for people to have that that advocacy when they can't advocate for themselves. But if they don't advocate for themselves,
Phones
it's a
can
problem.
be silenced in your settings.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't think it's premeditated. You know.
I don't think there's any intention to kill. I think there's that, oh my god, he's going to kill. I don't think that's the case. I think it was manslaughter. I think he was. I think the whole. Well, they're gonna watch the video twice, so.
This feels like a very they're holding 3 water trays. Watch out for the bump, type of thing.
Yeah, it's like calling out corner and then not paying attention. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, superior. I'm stuck in the dryer. Yeah, pretty
That guy has a
fucking
crazy
good.
voice behind us.
Who?
There's somebody going.
Okay.
First case.
I think overall, especially for after the full government restructure through the disaster, I think this is an excellent case to begin everything on. I think the facts weren't necessarily utterly clear. It required argument and it requires adjudication. It's not like it's some petty bullshit, you know.
Yo. And honestly, like if we really consider like the fact that like the judge kind of gave it to us too, but like when's the last time we trained? Oh, 7 years ago. I mean, maybe should have better training like recent, so you would be able to see the dude's life. He wouldn't be dead. So.
Yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. The first case is always the hardest, but I always prefer the second case.
We might have to put you under the DMV actually.
What the hell?
In the concrete chamber.
I'm gonna block you through my phone
What?
and through my email.
That's toxic.
I'm gonna put on headphones when you talk. But I'll play My Chemical Romance. It's fine.
Don't worry, I'll just call you and be like, hey, do you have a second to talk?
You're so fucking done, dude.
You're so lucky. Oh, hold on. Wait.
What?
Oh. I thought I had my bat with me.
Oh.
I was gonna brandish.
I got mine. I won't brandish it.
What do you want to know? We got about 5 minutes. Finish your conversations up.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, that's disturbingly fast.
I mean, that tells me they pre-watched the video, which is actually a good thing. Well, actually, sorry, they have to watch it to determine the emotion.
Yeah, I think so. They probably skimmed through it if I were to guess. Also, they had multiple judges conferring back and forth, so.
Yeah.
I'm just showing them a security concern, Your Honor. Okay.
I'm gonna take this burger.
For this courtroom, where do we want the press to stand?
I'm doing well.
Gonna have to
How about you? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought we were doing Lion King.
Paul the Grenade.
So it sounded like.
You working for the DOJ or are you otherwise employed somewhere else?
I don't even know what the rest of the time. I just remember that.
Oh,
There's a lion. Oh my god, there's a lion. It's the lyrics.
I'm unfortunately old enough to remember when the first one came out.
I'm not. I think it was -4. When did the first one come out? Like
96.
Oh, okay.
Oh fuck! I
95,
was a baby.
Yeah,
I was like a
my shirt
toddler.
on there for that, right?
Perfect lyrics. Thank you, chat. I appreciate
I
it.
more mean my father was old
Oh,
enough.
yeah, I heard that. I'm
Oh my God, it
totally
came out
getting
in
my
94.
heart boxers and smoking jacket.
I was a baby. I don't actually. What
Yeah.
what day?
June 24th.
Oh yeah, I was a baby. I was like 3 months old.
Did you just call the
Jesus.
judge lady?
Oh shit.
Your Honor.
Oh boy.
Run a lap around the courthouse.
Pop off, queen.
Donut, can you supervise him while he runs a lap around the courthouse?
Fuck donut. Damn.
You laughing at your own joke?
Did you say fuck donut?
Yeah, one of
Okay.
the green boys out there said fuck
Don't
down.
do it.
Green boys?
Yeah, one of those.
What green boy?
Above us.
Oh.
There's,
I mean, they're criminals.
Just
So.
don't look up. Don't look up.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, Donut.
there's a reason they call him the grenades, because he blew up in everybody's faces. God damn it, Paul.
Paul?
Paul?
Paul, what's Paul Evans? Okay.
Paul Walker?
Paul Walker? No, Paul Evans. I assume he's an attorney.
No, he didn't blow up
Oh,
the
yeah.
crash the Ferrari into a pole.
We blew up the car.
Not
Why are
just
you?
the car, just
Wait,
was a
stop.
pole.
Why are you arguing?
Blew up in the
with
flame.
Judge West? She's
Ooh,
told
I
you
wanna
Also,
watch
technically,
this.
he didn't
Do
crash
it.
it.
I guess I'm a lawyer. That's what I do. I argue.
Yeah, and she's a
Not with
judge.
me.
Yeah. Specifically
Sometimes.
not with them.
Sometimes with judges. You know, it depends.
Alright,
Can I
come
at
on,
least
Grenade.
leisurely walk?
Did I say you could leisurely walk?
I said do a lap. So yeah, I guess I can.
Then I said
run a
run.
lap.
Ooh.
Donut, can you go supervise and make sure he's actually doing that?
Thank
Keep
you,
the pace,
Donut.
Donut.
Appreciate your
Keep the
hard work.
pace.
I got it.
Thank you.
Set the tone, Donut. Set the tone.
Your Honor.
Donut is a gem. I just gotta say.
Yeah, I had
What's
doubts
up?
about him, but he's all right.
A gem if
Your Honor, West. Do
Hello?
you know any vampires?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No.
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 Are you sure?
Well,
Didn't
I
you
have-
testify
Supernatural
under
things
oath
do
you
not
don't
exist.
have a vampire fetish?
I don't have a vampire kink, Your Honor.
Oh, it's a fetish? We're getting not semantic about things. I see.
I'm sorry. What license did you give me a week ago? All right,
I have a
fine.
few friends that I know that identify as, sanguinous.
True so.
I'm
You
just
may
saying-
have missed it. Wes asked you
I mean-
to take your shirt off.
I mean, if you know any sanguine experts,
You can leave it on true.
you
so
can give
it's
them my
fine.
number.
God, are we gonna have to start
Uh-uh.
issuing vampire hunting licenses
Don't
now
make
too?
me have to have you run a lab, Tiberius. That was a court order to take his shirt off.
Wait, you do
Don't-
a vampire nurses.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You being a vampire.
You
would
know
track
what's
them down.
bullshit? You know
Wait,
what's
meaning
bullshit? If
vampire
I
what?
made if I
You being a
court
vampire
ordered
would
any
track the
woman
bills.
in here to do this, I'd never hear the
probably.
end of it.
That's me,
Ever.
sir.
God.
Let's go.
Demand equality.
I'm ready,
Judge
sir.
Wolf,
Ask.
you asked that, I'll do it.
No.
You're on it. You're
Oh,
gonna
officer
open a
deputy,
slippery
I
Say the
slope.
word, Judge.
Half
Say the
of
word,
half
Wolf.
government is
Fucking do it.
horny. Don't
Say
do
the word,
this.
woof.
Half?
Your Honor, objection, horny on main.
Yeah,
I'll
the
do
other
it,
half
Your
are
Honor.
old.
Ladies,
Come on,
Mm.
I would never ask you in an open court.
We'll
Catch
close
you
it
later.
Temporarily.
Oh, okay.
Temporarily.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wolf.
close it for like 2 seconds and then open it.
There's a chamber
Can I put my
right
shirt
there.
back on? There's a draft in here.
Montague's in there.
No,
Your Honor,
the
I
other
need to speak
chamber.
Your Honor, I need to speak to you in the hallway.
Which one?
Excuse me, I'm busy for a moment.
Yep.
Can I join you?
Yeah.
There goes our,
All he
there
needs
goes
is
our
a
short
moment
king.
of
Wait.
fun.
Your Honor, do you need a judicial assistant? Okay.
Oh, judge is back.
Hey, Your Honor, do we have Donut the head of...
Gavel
Oh,
noise, bang, bang, bang.
Oh,
Court
Nope.
is in session.
That's Chan Skyler.
I don't know where Wolf went. I think he went to go watch that cop take her shirt off.
All right, prosecution, do we have everyone present who needs to be present? Or are we waiting on somebody?
Yeah, everyone's present, Your Honor.
All right, defense, are we waiting on the attendance of anybody, or are we all here?
Defense is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay. One of my favorite movies is The Prestige. And there is a scene where the main character, about 2/3 of the way through the movie, which I thought was important, considering that about 2/3 through the interrogation was a huge focus here. 2/3 of the way through the movie, the main character says to the antagonist, "I once told you about a sailor who drowned." And the antagonist responds, "Yes, he said it was like going home." And the protagonist says, "I lied. He said it was agony." Our murder statute reads, "No person shall unlawfully and intentionally kill another human being with malice aforethought or with or without premeditation. A determination as to whether the homicide is classified as murder in the first or second degree shall be made solely by the judiciary of the state of San Andreas should the matter proceed to trial." And we are, for that exact purpose. A first-degree murder is an especially heinous homicide in which the death of the decedent is premeditated and in which there has been deliberation or the deliberate planning with the intent to kill. Argumentation has been presented seeking to limit the culpability of defendant Fart in this matter, trying to push it all the way down to manslaughter. However, Mr. Fart's own statement is in and of itself damning in this case.
Okay.
"I knew he was back there. It was a bank truck, you know. I thought, it'd be all completely sealed up. Wouldn't fill up with water." It is likely that this court would have found that the 911 calls, in addition to the lengthy drive from the Department of Motor Vehicles, was time in which the defendant knew or should have known or found out that the decedent was in the back of the bank truck. This court likely would have found that the threats made directly to the decedent, at least allegedly pursuant to the 911 walls, indicated a direct knowledge. However, we don't have to reach that stage. According to the defendant, quote, "I knew he was back there." In many jurisdictions, it has been ruled that the pointing of a firearm and pulling of the trigger is sufficient time for premeditation to occur. Simply raising your arm and pulling the trigger is enough time in your mind for premeditation to form for killing someone. We don't even have to approach that standard today. The defendant, it is uncontested, according to even the closing of the defense, loaded this truck initially at the Department of Motor Vehicles and drove it all the way to Mirror Park, which is about a 1.5-mile drive. He stopped not once, but twice, backing the car up to the edge, according to the 911 calls, making these threats, brandishing a knife. So just to clarify, he doesn't raise his arm, he doesn't point a gun, he doesn't pull the trigger, all of which can occur in under a second. He pulls a tow chain from a vehicle, latches it onto a bank truck, drags it onto a flatbed, proceeds to drive over 1.5 miles up a winding dirt path, backs it up, and then unhooks it. If 2 to 3 seconds is a sufficient time for premeditation, then the minutes that elapsed here is more than enough. I commend the defense on their attempt to defend the heinous actions of the defendant. However, his own quotation seals his fate in this case.
Which is why you don't fucking talk, or you get counsel that will
regardless of the rocky incline, regardless of his incorrect knowledge as to how properly sealed a bank truck was, the defendant's actions were reckless, and they were directly intentional, and they resulted in death. This was a premeditated first-degree homicide. The defendant is found guilty of murder. A bench warrant will be issued for him to be remanded into the custody of Bolingbrook State Penitentiary, and a sentencing hearing will be scheduled sometime after January 3rd. That is the ruling of this court. Judge West, gavel sounds.
Gavel sounds, bang, bang, bang.
All right. Questions, comments, and concerns can be directed to me after the fact. Thank you all for your attendance. Thank you, gallery, for keeping it to a dull roar. We appreciate you.
Lawyers, I would like a word.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's fucking go, police.
All right, excuse me.
Thank you, Donut.
Comma police.
Oh, thank you.
You too, paralegal. Come here.
All right, everybody. I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here.
I'm gonna let Justice Montag say whatever he wants to, but I was very pleased with all of you. Thank you for a well-run courtroom. Thank you for being prepared. Thank you for keeping your objections 95% of the time on point. I appreciated that. I enjoyed it. I thought you did very good work tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, no, double what he said. You both
echoing that as well.
Yeah, you both very clearly had your questions lined out. You marked out the ones that got crossed before you got there. Again, 95% of your objections were on point. There were a couple of times that I felt like you were still objecting just to object. But at the end of the day, we got where we were going. And I think you both did an excellent job. I was very happy to have the two of you as leads, and Talia and Mr. Second. I'm glad to have had you as the backups on our very first trial. You all did amazing.
I
Thanks, sir.
have good noodle stickers for all of you.
No shit.
Yeah, they're all gold star stickers that say good noodle, and they're
Okay.
holographic. They're holographic.
So, Mr. Temple,
Come
Miss
find me tomorrow.
Sparks, when you think Talia here is ready, you let me know.
I am. I offer my formal recommendation. I, Skyler Sparks, offer my formal recommendation for her licensing to bar within the Bar Association, Department of Justice in San Andreas.
Then we will talk in the coming days.
Yeah, Tali, you did great.
I can say through just the last few days, I've lived here for 6 days. I've taken on 2 trials, one of them now adjudicated as the first trial. The times I've spoken to Talia, she's extremely professional, and the times she's not professional, she adds way more value to a bench trial than I think I would, especially on my first days. So I think she'll be an excellent addition to the Department of Justice.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Talia, schedule up an interview at some point with one of the 4 judges who are present here.
I'm not.
We will take the recommendation of Counselor Sparks very seriously, and we'll get you moving on your own in some capacity. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor.
That's what Temple and I were discussing, Talia, when we said we were just talking about penises. We were talking about offering a recommendation as your bar license. So.
Wow, she's walking.
Congratulations.
Something you had trouble doing.
We'll absolutely schedule a hearing with you.
That being said, I do have a question concerning the ruling. Outside of the defendant's own admission, was there anything else that would have pushed towards the premeditation?
The common sense of this one, I'm going to be honest, you were fighting an uphill battle given the amount of time that it would have taken him to hook the... I mean... Look, I'm not unfamiliar with how a tow truck works. I'm familiar with the fact that you have to unwind the chain from the bed and then attach it directly under the cabin of the vehicle. It would have been very hard to make an argumentation that at no point did he look inside the cabin of said vehicle and notice there was a person in there. There was a lot.
We looked into all the routes with the tow truck, and there was no argument there. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I think the 3 of you did absolutely amazingly with what you had. I don't know there's a circumstance where this would not have been a first-degree murder.
Understood.
I mean, I think your best bet was getting, with the evidence being what it was, with the transcript being what it is, I don't know. That's an almost impossible battle to fight, right? But I thought you put up as brave a fight as you could. It was a good fight.
Yeah. You would have had to knock down 2 Goliaths on this one, because even if the transcript had gotten kicked out through some form of poisonous tree or something, the facts themselves still would have heavily leaned towards premeditation. So
I'm not even sure, because it was part of the plan was hoping that the defendant would have shown up instead of fighting an absentia, representing an absentia, because I believe there was deep evidentiary value with his testimony. but I'm not even sure that would have ended up swaying anything. We're all educated and smart. I don't think anything he would have said concerning this would have moved it from premeditation to just oopsie doodle.
Yeah.
Well, that made it worse, to be real.
Not necessarily, but yeah.
Yeah.
Judging on how his interrogation went, it would have gone worse.
He should have had a lawyer there, a real lawyer.
He did have a lawyer
the lawyer
there.
ain't do nothing,
Well,
Nixon.
hey,
you know that. There's nothing that we can do about that.
He didn't even take his damn pills.
I'm not gonna speak ill of the dead, but motherfucker should have told it. Sorry, that man should have told him to shut up.
He did say on the record that it was time for him to take his pills.
Anyway.
And I just want to say that we did also go and investigate the dam and how hard it would have been to pull the gentleman out of the bank truck. And
Did you do well?
No, I drowned.
She needed EMS.
Nearly immediately.